you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
Okali dokali. Okay. Let me see what I can pop on. I kind of want to listen to some stuff.
For years, Silithus welcome back.
Let me see. We don't want to do welcome back. We want the beginning.
Welcome to another World of Warcraft lore supercut. In this video, we're diving into the entire history and the lore behind the classic World of Warcraft
There we go.
Horde starting zones. Our first stop takes us to the lore-rich homelands of the Forsaken, the Tirisfal Glades. We'll explore how this region was created and then named, the rise and fall of the kingdoms that once thrived across the Glades, and how it was ultimately transformed into a land of death and decay by the Scourge invasion. From there, we'll set sail across the Great Sea to explain the history behind Durotar, looking at how the Orcs went from a bloodthirsty invading force to a peaceful faction looking for a new start. And then finally, from there, we'll journey across the plains of Kalimdor to Mulgore, taking a look into the ancient heritage of the Tauren and explain how they joined forces with Thrall's new horde during the Third War.
I want to listen to this while we're doing this.
Some
This is going to be
stories
kind of
will
mundane
overlap across
stuff.
history zones, but leaving
Um,
these connections and the overlaps in helps create a smooth
stuff that we're going to be doing.
storytelling experience when looking at each individual zone. But with that being said, whether you're winding down for some sleep, looking for some lore-rich background noise to study to,
Trying to think
or
of where to
just
put
in
it.
the mood to relax with a bit of World of Warcraft history, this video has you covered. Let's kick this lore super
pop it right here.
with the haunting land of the Forsaken, the Tirisfal Glades.
The best.
The story of the Tirisfal Glades goes way back to the Titanic era. Now, most of us know the basics of that story, so I'll spare you the details and hit you with the highlights. A relevant background lore speedrun, so to speak. Azeroth, discovered by the Titans, had a big problem. The Old Gods. Void entities determined
There's more
to
time
corrupt
walking,
the
too.
planet's world soul. The Titans responded by creating an army of Titan-forged beings, including the Keepers, and together they crushed the Old God's Black Empire. The old god survivors, like the formidable
I think it's
Yogg-Saron,
under
were locked
here.
away in
Oh, it is.
prisons, like the complex of Ulduar in the north of ancient
Over here,
Kalimdor.
champion.
So far,
I've tracked
so
the
good.
cultists'
But now
activity
comes
to
the
the
plot
caves
twist.
below.
One of the
Respect our
keepers,
we must
Loken,
root
fell
out these
victim to
cultists
Yogg-Saron
before they
for mind
spread their
games.
corruption.
He betrayed his fellow keepers,
Find
and his
and
actions
eliminate
unleashed
them.
the infamous Curse of Flesh, turning the once immortal Titanfall.
Let's get some education in while we're doing this stuff.
And blood. Two of the keepers, Tyr and Arcadus, foresaw his betrayal, and alongside Ionaea and a group of Titan-forged allies, they fled Ulduar, seeking safety from Loken's grasp. Tyr and his allies didn't leave empty-handed, though. They carried with them the Discs of Norgannon, ancient artifacts that recorded the history of Azeroth. Their mission was to uncover the full
Glory
extent
to
of
the
Loken's
Sindori.
treachery and protect
We
the
will
knowledge
have
contained in
justice.
the Discs of Norgannon, Loken unleashed monstrous horrors known as the Cathraxi, and they were sent to pursue Tyr and his clan. These ancient, terrifying generals of the old gods, Zakaj and Kithos. When the Cathraxi
Come
generals
back.
finally caught
Oh,
up
it's
to
a
Tyr's
big
power,
group.
the northeastern reaches of ancient Kalimdor. What followed was a tale of crazy, the six groups. Arcane and shadow magic tore through the landscape, transforming the once peaceful glade into a war-torn battlefield. As the conflict reached its peak,
There
Tyr
is no
made a
loot.
fateful decision. To protect his comrades and ensure their escape with the discs, he unleashed the full extent of his immense power in a final, self-sacrificial.
What's up, Molf? How you doing?
So, if by the destruction of this
Can you hear Can you hear the video?
you are purged from this world, so be it.
Dude, why did it send me here?
The resulting explosion of energy
What's up, Chris?
outright and forcing the other, now gravely wounded, to flee westward. In
I have
honor of
much
her fallen
to teach
comrade,
you.
Ionaea, named the glade
All
surrounding the
paths
massive
are
crater
possible.
Tyr's
Oh,
Fall,
that's what I'm on.
which in the Vrykul tongue translated into Tirisfal.
Um,
Her followers, she buried both Tyr and his defeated foe in a tomb where they had fallen. As a tribute to Tyr's noble sacrifice, they placed his massive silver hand atop his final resting place, a lasting symbol of his bravery and selflessness.
I didn't listen to any of this.
Vrykul, who accompanied the keepers, sought to further honor Tyr's sacrifice by settling near the battlefield to protect the tomb of Tyr. This group of Vrykul established an elite order known
I heard
as
it
Tyr's
is not
Guard.
the
sole
most
mission
fun.
of this order was to safeguard the tomb of their fallen leader, ensuring that it remained undisturbed for the rest of time. This area became a place of great significance and legend for the Vrykul people. However, our focus now shifts to the Dragonflayer clan of Vrykul in the north. Around 15,000
Where do
years
we,
ago, the clan
Where does the
began
pre-patch
suffering the
event
effects
even
of the
start?
Curse
Is
of
it
Flesh.
Dornegal?
Vrykul women gave birth to small, malformed children. Their ruthless king, Ymiron, in his fury, he ordered that these weak and deformed children must be killed. But not all Dragonflayer Vrykul could bring themselves to carry out such a cruel order. Instead, some of them chose to defy their king and sought out the legendary land of Tirisfal, entrusting their children to the Vrykul living there instead. In the ages that followed, these children and their descendants underwent further transformation, slowly evolving into a new
After that
race
cultist
came to be
thing?
known as the humans. Over the course
Because this
of
is
the next
unlocking the
7,000 years,
Void Elf
the Vrykul
Demon
died
Hunter.
out, and the humans developed independently as monumental events unfolded elsewhere across Azeroth. One of the most significant events occurred 10,000 years ago, when the ancient
Yeah, that's
civil continent
Rascal.
of
She passed
Kalimdor
away
was
about a year and a
shattered
half
in a
ago.
world-altering
My little
event known
baby.
as the Great Sundering. This devastating rupture was the culmination of the War of the Ancients. The Well of Eternity imploded,
Let me go back to
triggering
Org.
a catastrophic explosion that shattered ancient Kalimdor into the continents and oceans of modern Azeroth. With the rise of Druidism amongst the Night Elves, arcane magic was outlawed, as its previous misuse had nearly destroyed the world, and anyone who
Let me see.
violated this law would face death. Among the surviving highborn loyalists of Queen Azshara, defiance grew. Led by Dathramar Sunstrider, they rejected the ban of arcane magic, viewing it as their
Okay, it's
curse.
this one right here.
When stern warnings from the druids went unheeded, Dathramar retaliated with a magical storm over Ashendale.
So,
Unwilling to
Twilight's
execute so
Blade
many
are
kin,
indeed
the Druids
recruiting
chose
here.
to exile them instead.
It's
The
imperative
Highborn,
that we
eager to
stop the
reclaim their
Twilight's
freedom,
Blade at its
departed on
source,
ships,
the Twilight
hoping for a land
Highlands.
where they could embrace arcane magic.
That's a
without
pretty bad start.
restraint.
Got it.
The Highborn eventually reached the Eastern Kingdoms. Over time,
Yeah,
with the
she.
King
I
of
mean,
Highlands
she was around for a long
being
time.
rich in ley lines, they settled briefly
This
in the
must seem
Tirisfal
quite
Glades,
familiar
but
to
soon
you,
abandoned it
Ulrich.
after succumbing to madness
Do not
from a malevolent
squander
force
resources.
beneath the
Infiltrate
land.
the cult and
They
see what you
eventually
can learn.
moved from the Tirisfal
do not
Glades and
succumb
settled
to
in
the-
the northern reaches of the Sundered Continent, where they began constructing a new kingdom, Quel'Thalas. With the elves gone, the primitive human tribes expanded across the region, but this growth brought frequent conflicts between the human tribes over land, religion, and resources. But these internal wars ceased when the tribes united to face a common enemy. The Amani, an ancient and powerful troll race, controlled much of Lordaeron, including the hinterlands, Tirisfal Glades, and East Weald, which is now the Plague Lands. Tensions escalated as human tribes encroached on Amani territory, leading to inevitable clashes. At this point in history, several human tribes were scattered across the land, but three rose to prominence: the Arathi,
Stinky.
the Alterachi,
Also
and the
ticked
Tirisfal
chair
tribes.
forever,
Warlord
bestest
Thoradin of
chonk.
the Arathi
She was
tribe
the bestest little
recognized
chonk.
Unity was
I
humanity's
agree, me.
only hope against the trolls. Declaring himself king, Thoradin launched
Finish
a
the quest
6-year
lines to unlock
campaign to unite
weekly.
the tribes,
So,
forging alliances through
The
marriage,
Midnight
becoming
This is the
chiefs
quest that I'm on now. I want to
and
finish
granting
this, or is it the
tribal
Darkness
leaders
Among
roles as
Us?
generals in his army. One of his greatest challenges
Yeah, she's
came
my
from
little
the
baby.
Alterachi tribe in the rugged Alterac Mountains.
So just do what I'm doing
Thoradin
now.
avoided heavy losses by defeating their leader, Igneus, in single combat, winning the Alteraki's loyalty. In the
Yeah,
Tirisfal
yeah, huh?
Glades, Thoradin
Yeah,
faced
yeah.
the deeply spiritual tribes led by Lordain. To earn their trust, he undertook a sacred pilgrimage to their holy sites, pledging to honor their mystical traditions. Inspired by his sincerity, Lordain
I don't have
and
the
his
robes
people
yet?
followed
Like, what the
his
crap?
cause. With the tribes united, Thoradin founded the nation
Hiya!
of Arathor and established its capital, Strom, in the Arathi Highlands. Now, the background lore to the Troll Wars is important for the story of the Tirisfal Glades, but the actual war isn't that important. And if you want to find out
There we
what
go.
happens next, there's plenty of Troll War lore in our dedicated Arathi video. The Troll Wars ended in a decisive victory for the united forces of Arathor and the High Elves of Quel'Thalas. Defeated, the Amani retreated into the hills, their power broken.
Sir, how dare
by
you?
Narnia. After the Troll Wars, the king of Arathor, Thoradin, abdicated his throne to embark on his own journey of enlightenment. Driven by a desire to uncover humanity's origins and its ties to the Iron Vrykul, his quest led him to the ancient lands of Tirisfal. There, Thoradin delved into the region's legends and ruins, becoming captivated by the mysteries surrounding Tyr's tomb. When Thoradin arrived at the tomb, he was met by Tyr's guard.
Like smacking
Ancient
things with
Vrykul
the.
order, now led by
with
a
my
secretive group of
tentacles.
humans. They firmly refused to
Oh,
let him
hello.
disturb the sacred site. A tense standoff ensued, but Thoradin's determination prevailed, forcing his way inside. But by doing so, they unknowingly awakened the monstrous
Trying to become a
Thrak,
Twilight Blades
Zakaj,
cultist.
buried alongside Tyr. He stood his ground as his comrades fell around him. In a final act of heroism, Thoradin drove his legendary blade, Stromkar, into Zakaj's skull, halting its
Nice.
regeneration and forcing it into an
Yeah, I mean,
unmatched slumber. But
Clayton in
this
the
came at a price.
Discord, he's
The
a
battle left
DJ.
Thoradin mortally wounded, and the former king of Arathor succumbed to his injuries.
At last, the nightmare is over.
Tyr's guard, shaken by the events, vowed never to enter the tomb again, fearing that any further disturbance could awaken the ancient evil and unleash untold devastation upon the world. In the years following the Troll Wars, the kingdom of Arathor continued to expand, giving rise to several key human settlements in Alterac, Dalaran, Gilneas, Kultiras, and notably the Tirisfal Glades. The Tirisfal Glades have become one of the most popular human regions, renowned for its fertile lands. Many former soldiers chose
Let
to
me just
settle there, creating a thriving community.
heal myself
Over
up a
time,
bit.
The area was renamed to Lordaeron, a tribute to the late general.
I am a
Lordain,
cultist.
whose
I am a
legacy
cultist.
continued to inspire the people.
Look at me,
Around
cultisting
2,680
stuffs.
years ago, the city-state of Dalaran was founded north of Strom. Many people flocked to Dalaran, seeking freedom to explore their magical potential.
Yeah, yeah.
Using their powers, they constructed the city's enchanted spires, building a
But yeah,
prosperous economy around their
Clayton
growing
is
mastery
is
of
one of the
religion.
industrial
However,
goth
just like what
DJs out
happened with the
here.
Night Elves 10,000
That's like his
years
bread and
ago,
butter.
the unchecked use of magic began to weaken the fabric of reality, unknowingly attracting demons from the Burning Legion back to the world. The Magokrats, I think that's a word, sought aid from the High Elves of Quel'Thalas. The elves, upon investigating the disturbances, confirmed that the misuse
Yeah.
of magic had indeed weakened the
I still
barriers
need
between
to
Azeroth and the
invest in
Legion. To address the
emotes, new
danger,
emotes for the channel
elves
too,
and the leaders of Dalaran formed a secret alliance known as the Council of Tirisfal.
or
And
more
70
emotes, I
years
should
later,
say. Maybe not
Dreadlord
new ones, but
Cathrenatia infiltrated Dalaran,
more.
spreading plague
Oh,
and
hello.
terror
I
while
see we are
corrupting the
all
civilians with a
cultists
cursed
here.
plague
Yes,
apocalypse.
we are all cultists.
Cathrenatia's reign of terror ended when Aladai, the first guardian of Tirisfal, confronted and banished the Dreadlord from Azeroth. This event marked the first successful banishment of a demon.
Wait, why hello, fellow cultists.
For the next 1,400 years, humans continued to dominate the lands of continental Lordaeron. However, over
Need more
time,
chimkins?
the lands surrounding the capital city of Strom became increasingly
This
problematic. The
one.
soil in the region was just too barren to sustain the growing empire. Ultimately, the Lords of Strom, driven by aspirations
Head
of purity and
appearance.
enlightenment, decided to leave
Timestamps,
the
thank
historic
you.
city. Far to the north,
Oh,
the
hey,
Lords
we
of
did
Strom
cultist stuff.
arrived in the Tirisfal Glades, where they found scattered human settlements. Over time, they extended their influence.
Dutch has the Keck emote.
The humble villages of the Tirisfal Glades
Definitely not a
into the
cultist.
grand
Hell
city
yeah.
of Lordaeron. The city's name, of course, inspired by the land on which
We need
it was
this.
built. The city of Lordaeron experienced rapid expansion due to two primary factors. The city began as an industrial hub, supplying the growing population with essential goods to sustain their outer settlements. The second reason was its role as a prominent destination for religious pilgrimage. Lordaeron became a sanctuary for the deeply devout who upheld the teachings of the light. These two pillars, industry and religion, fueled Lordaeron's rise into a
Oh, my
mighty kingdom.
tendies.
Over time, though, the city's industrial responsibilities were delegated to other emerging settlements, such as the newly established cities of Stratholme and Andorhor. With its industrial role diminished, the city of Lordaeron transformed into a center of religion and administration. Despite its breathtaking beauty, the city's walls were a testament to formidable engineering and defense.
Hello.
And no enemy dared challenge the kingdom, and it remained unthreatened for an entire
No
millennium.
barrages for you.
Now, you might not believe it,
my
but
fellow
everything we've covered
cultist.
so far is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the history of the Tirisfal Glades. As we move
Ouch.
into the more modern era of World of Warcraft history, things get even more interesting, starting with the arrival of the Horde. Now, of course, we've already covered the tale of the Orcish Horde's invasion, how they crossed the Dark Portal from their dying world of Draenor into the lands of continental Azeroth. And in just 3 short years, the Horde had succeeded in conquering Stormwind. In the aftermath of the King of Stormwind's death, Sir Anduin Lothar, faced with a kingdom in ruins, led the shattered remnants of Stormwind's army and as many civilians as he could gather away from the fallen city. They retreated across the Great Sea, eventually landing on the shores of Lordaeron. Anduin Lothar arrived at the court of King Terenas Menethil II. This ultimately persuaded the king to summon the 7 human kingdoms for an urgent council. Inside the city walls, the council deliberated for days, with tensions running high until one of Lordaeron's most revered priests, Turellian, delivered a dire warning. He cautioned the kings that their
I'm trying to
realms
listen
would
to
share
this, but
Stormwind's tragic
I don't.
fate
My
if they
my brain
failed to
doesn't work
stand
that well.
united. His plea broke the deadlock, and the human leaders voted unanimously to form the alliance.
I'm
of Lordaeron.
trying.
The council selected
I
Anduin
used my
Lothar to lead
camera
the
or my
alliance military
phone
effort.
as
His
a
heritage and
my
lack of
camera,
political ties to the northern kingdoms made
and
him the
then
natural and trusted choice to command fairly. With this coalition in place, the kingdoms prepared for the Orcish onslaught.
I use my
and the war
headphones
was on
as
the
my
horizon.
microphone as well.
Sir Anduin Lothar recognized the need for a unifying force that transcended the disparate backgrounds of the allied nations. To address this, the church proposed a
Just to
groundbreaking
test it out.
solution.
So I would like to do that more. That way, when I'm busy cooking or whatever, or need to make dinner or want to make dinner, I can also do content at the same time.
Stratholme, within Alonso's chapel, the Order of the Silver Hand was founded. 5 of these warrior priests, known as paladins, were appointed to lead this noble order. Uther the Lightbringer, the first to be named, was followed by Dathomir,
Uther!
Tyrion, Turellian, and Gavinrad. The Order's name and the emblem were inspired by the legend of the Silver Hand, a legacy of the Keeper Tyr, symbolizing light-wielding warriors who placed self-sacrifice above all else. Confident in their plans, War Chief Doomhammer anticipated striking Lordaeron before the newly formed alliance.
Yeah, and then when my friend Lula, who is definitely not a cultist, comes to visit,
fell, the coalition of nations would collapse. Doomhammer's forces
we should be doing more.
The Alliance and the
We should be
Horde
doing
soon
some cooking
clashed in
streams with her. I'm
battle
hoping
for
to
the
have
foothold.
some more stuff
However, fortune favored the Horde
in
when King Aidan Perinold of the Alterac Kingdom
in there.
approached the Orcs.
I'm so happy it
Perinold
works.
had been hesitant to
Oh,
confront
that's
the
right.
Horde,
There's
leaving them an unstoppable
tic-tac-toe.
force even for a united alliance. The sight of Orcish death knights, ogre mages, and dragons at his borders convinced him to wave the white flag, offering Doomhammer safe passage through the mountains in exchange for the promise that Alterac would be spared. The Horde quickly bypassed the Alliance mountain defences, advancing swiftly toward the Tirisfal Glades and the capital city. Upon reaching the area, Doomhammer ordered an immediate siege.
They was gonna
While
keep
the Alliance
drawing.
had anticipated an eventual assault on the capital city, the speed of the Horde's advance caught them off guard. Doomhammer was confident that the city would fall once Horde reinforcements arrived from the front line in Quel'Thalas. However, delays from Horde clans in the north...
I'm doing. We're doing some edumacation on lore that I'm not even really paying attention to, although I really want to.
Forcing Doomhammer to redirect resources from the siege. The situation grew dire. Without reinforcements from the absent Orc clans, the Horde lacked the strength to storm the city.
Oh, we got it there.
Eventually, the
Shit,
Dragonborn
I
clan
lost.
arrived
I was gonna put it there
bringing
too.
Devastating news: the famous Orc warlock Gul'dan had betrayed the Horde, taking the Storm Reaver and the Twilight's Hammer clans with
Oh, I
him
won.
to pursue his own ambitions. As if that
They're
wasn't enough,
offline?
Doomhammer
What do you mean they're offline? They shouldn't be. She's down there too, trying to show everybody her butthole. Right, I'm talking about you. She's like, what? What are you talking about? What do you mean? I'm not doing nothing. Should be on now. Nope, that's not what I wanted.
Hammer learned that King Perinold's treachery had been uncovered. Troops from Stromgarde, led by King Thoros Trollbane, had seized Alterac
Frick.
and its mountain passes.
I set myself
cutting
up for
off the Horde's
failure.
Retreat and leaving Doomhammer's army in Tirisfal completely isolated. Realizing the campaign was lost, Doomhammer gave the order for a full retreat to Khazmodan. And so, the Horde was driven back.
There's like a
retreating all the
thing
way
to
the Dark
win
Portal. Some
so
of the
many of
surviving
these, and
orcs,
then
those who weren't captured, fled through the portal.
oops, I didn't even pay
returning to the
attention.
dying world of Draenor. At Tyrellion's command, Khadgar unleashed his immense power to destroy the portal, sealing the connection.
Okay,
between
8
the
world
two
quests
realms. And
completed.
in the 7th year, after the Orcish invasion, the Second War was over, and the Horde had been defeated. Yet this brutal conflict
Oh, there we go. They're
did not
actually up
mark
now.
the end of the trials that the forests of the Tirisfal Glades would face in the years to come. In the aftermath of the war with the Orcs, the Tirisfal Glades surrounding the kingdom flourished as a serene land of peaceful farms and quiet villages. But as the kingdom regained its strength, ancient forces stirred in the shadows. On
Yeah, if you
Draenor,
want to.
Ner'zhul, elder
I
shaman of the Shadowmoon clan and
don't do a
warchief
ton
of
of
the
cooking
Horde,
as much as I would like to,
devised
and I'm not
another desperate plan
the best
to
at
seal
it.
their
I
doom.
enjoy it though.
He sought out powerful artifacts from Azeroth, all of which he would use to open portals to new worlds. When Ner'zhul obtained the Skull of Gul'dan, its dark power corrupted
You're
him,
just like,
driving him
oh,
to
my
focus on his
frames.
own
Oh, my
survival
frames.
instinct while abandoning the Horde. His recklessness led him through the portals
What are
he had created,
frames?
but instead of freedom, he was intercepted by Kil'jaeden, the demon lord responsible for the
No,
Orcs'
it wouldn't
original
affect
corruption.
that. It's
Kil'jaeden
because I'm
furious
streaming.
at
I'm
Ner'zhul's failures,
like streaming a
sentenced him
video
to fate far worse than death.
and then playing World of
Demon
Warcraft.
commanded his dreadlord servants, Tichondrius, Mal'Ganis, Balnazar, Detheroc, and Varimathras, to torture and torment Ner'zhul relentlessly. Broken by their cruelty, the shaman finally begged for release. Kil'jaeden answered, but not with mercy. Nerzol's mortal form was destroyed, his soul ripped from his body. Kil'jaeden bound Nerzol's tormented spirit into 2 items, a suit of enchanted armor and the cursed
I don't know.
blade, Frostmourne.
I don't.
He then encased it in a diamond-hard block of ice and hurled into the ice-crowned glacier as the Lich King.
My fate is torment, but I will not bear this crown alone.
It was there the Lich King was tasked with carrying out Kil'jaeden's dark will to unleash a plague of undeath upon Azeroth. The victims of this plague would rise as mindless undead, eternally enslaved to the Lich King's will, spreading destruction and paving the way for the Burning Legion's return. Imprisoned within the Frozen Throne, Nerzol expanded his mastery over the plague.
Did I really only get one? What the
When
heck?
the time was right, he sent a chilling mental call.
What the
across
heck?
Azeroth. Among those who answered the summons was Kel'Thuzad. After months of grueling travel, he arrived at the icy glacier of Icecrown. Kel'Thuzad knelt before the Frozen Throne and pledged his soul.
There's time walking going on again. I do want to level up some other characters too.
To the lands of men in Lordaeron and establish a dark religion devoted to the Lich King. Returning in his disguise, he built a following.
No. I did the flying one already.
Of the damned. In the village of Brill, within the Tirisfal Glades, Kel'Thuzad conducted his first experiments with the plague of undeath. The town of Brill became one of the earliest places afflicted, and its
You like my
inhabitants
shirt?
quickly
Light
succumbed
bright?
to the plague and rose again,
Miss Indy?
undead, under the Lich King's control. The plague's success in Brill convinced Kel'Thuzad to urge the Lich King to hasten the invasion. As the plague spread across the northern lands and the Tirisfal Glades, it transformed the dead into feral zombies, rapidly swelling the ranks of the Lich King's army. Kel'Thuzad, witnessing the growing horde, named this terrifying force the Scourge, a relentless army that would soon bring devastation
The
to
Scourge.
city of Lordaeron and beyond. Now, this is probably the moment you've all been waiting for. The introduction of arguably the
That's true.
greatest
This is,
character
I
in
mean,
World of
I'm
Warcraft
fine with this
history,
being the cat
Arthas
stream. I don't,
Menethil.
it doesn't bother me either way.
Son of King Terenas Menethil II, Arthas was the crown prince.
They'd make
of
more
the
money than
Black
I
Sea,
ever would.
already proving himself as a mighty paladin. Arthas first demonstrated his leadership.
I like how
in the
this guy
sacred
just like
town of Strahd,
did not care that
brilliant
I was
enough to
attacking this thing.
defend the settlement from Orcish raiders. These orcs had broken free from their internment camps, posing a renewed threat. But as Arthas concentrated on the orcs, grim rumours started to spread of a strange and horrifying plague sweeping through the Northlands. Orders from the king soon arrived, and Arthas was
Excuse
sent
me.
forth to investigate the outbreak. There, he discovered the village in ruins, its inhabitants transformed into undead servants of the Lich King, and together they fought against the undead infestation at a granary. It was there they encountered Kel'Thuzad himself, the necromancer spreading the plague of undeath. Kel'Thuzad soon fled, but with Arthas and his companions in pursuit. By the time they caught up to him in Anderhall, the main agricultural distribution point for the region, the damage was already done. The grain they stored there had been tainted and distributed.
They're showing
without leaving
Warcraft.
villages. Before Arthas struck him down, Kel'Thuzad revealed the name of the Scourge's leader, Mal'Ganis, a Nathrezim demon orchestrating the plague. What
Oh, I
followed
thought
is
I was
a
out of
tale
that.
changed the course of Azeroth's history forever. Arthas defied the Order of the Silver Hand and initiated the infamous.
Dude, I'm still
killing
at
of
4.
Startholme.
This entire city must be.
This is why I don't play
Within
classic.
Startholme, Arthas confronted Mal'Ganis, who was already working to claim the souls of the infected. Though Arthas sought to destroy the Dreadlord in a final confrontation, Mal'Ganis retreated, taunting the prince and vowing to meet him in Northrend. Arthas pursued the demon to Northrend. There he reunited with an old friend, Muradin Bronzebeard, brother of the Dwarven king Magni. Muradin led Arthas to a legendary weapon.
Hello.
to turn the
You
tide
just
against
appeared
the
here.
Scourge, a blade
You're going to disappear
from
again.
Frostmourne. Unbeknownst to Arthas, though, Frostmourne was cursed and bound to the Lich King's will.
Give me another
If
one.
would save his people.
Give
Arthas
me
went
the
despite Muradin's
stone.
warnings, and the prince's soul was consumed by the blade's dark power. Arthas, now transformed into the first and mightiest of the Lich King's Death Knights, with his soul lost and his mind shattered, he returned to the city of Lordaeron not as its savior.
Please
but
give me
as
one.
its doom. Arthas began his campaign of destruction with an unthinkable act: the murder of his own father.
Yeah, that one's done. Is this all the event area is? Because I know before it was the rares and stuff. Oh shit.
With his newfound unholy strength, he crushed the capital city of Lordaeron, leaving it in ruins. With the king dead and the capital city fallen, the Scourge swept across the Tirisfal Glades, leaving devastation in its wake. As Lordaeron
No,
crumbled,
not allowed.
Arthas returned to the desolate Balnir farmstead.
Kitty Cat has said, no, this is my
He
spot.
committed a grim act, raising his once beloved steed, Invincible, from the grave as a skeletal mount. And with that final act, Lordaeron had fallen. The once thriving settlements and villages of the Tirisfal Glades had been obliterated, replaced by a landscape of death and decay. With Lordaeron in ruins, Arthas turned his gaze northward to Quel'Thalas. Now one of Arthas's most loyal servants, Kel'Thuzad informed the Death Knight that only the mystical font of elven power, the Sunwell, could restore him to his corporeal form. With this goal in mind, Arthas led his massive undead army toward the heart of the High Elven homeland. Now you're probably thinking this is the entire history of the Tirisfal Glades, not Quel'Thalas, but we're about to introduce one of the most important characters in the history of the Tirisfal Glades. Standing between Arthas and his goal were the Farstriders, the elite rangers sworn to protect Quel'Thalas. Their leader, the formidable Sylvanas Windrunner. She rallied her forces to resist the Scourge's relentless
Let them have that.
attacks.
They were over there.
Arthas and his army swept through the elven lands until they finally confronted Sylvanas east of Fairbreeze village, not far from Silvermoon. In a desperate final stand, Sylvanas herself engaged with Arthas in combat.
My
Though she fought
queen.
valiantly, her strength was no match for the dark power of Frostmourne. The cursed blade shattered her weapons, struck her down, and pierced through her abdomen. As she lay dying, Sylvanas demanded that Arthas give her a clean death, but the Death Knight, still bitter from the fierce resistance she had shown, refused her request. As Sylvanas slipped into darkness, she felt an unimaginable agony as her soul was forcibly ripped back into the world. Arthas, in a moment of supreme cruelty, transformed the Ranger General into an undead banshee. Sylvanas was granted horrific abilities that she never possessed in life. Though bound completely to Arthas's will, she retained her self-awareness, a deliberate torment engineered by Arthas so she could witness the destruction she would bring to her own people. Now a twisted shadow of her former self, Sylvanas became both a weapon of the Scourge and a prisoner of its malice. So next up, we're going to
My
talk
queen.
about the Lich King's crack. After the Blood War, the Lich King's
I like how
power
you
was
couldn't
away,
say
and
that
the Lich
without
King
a
forced the
straight
cursed blade of
face.
Frostmourne out of the
Hold
ice of the
on.
frozen
Hold on a second. You couldn't say that without a straight face. Oh, that was great. Hold, please. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
to Arthas's will, she retained her self-awareness, a deliberate torment engineered by Arthas so she could witness the destruction she would bring to her own people. Now a twisted shadow of her former self, Sylvanas became both a weapon of the Scourge and a prisoner of its malice. So next up, we're going to talk about the Lich King's crack. After the Third War, the Lich King's power began to wane. When the Lich King forced the cursed blade of Frostmourne out of the ice at the Frozen Throne, it caused a crack to form. The damage was then worsened when Illidan Stormrage attempted to destroy the Frozen Throne with a powerful spell. This crack allowed the Lich King's power to slowly leak away, gradually weakening him over time. As Ner'zhul faltered, so did Arthas Menethil. As the Lich King's strength diminished,
Oh, crap.
cracks began to form in his control over the minds of his undead minions. Sylvanas, along with several banshees, began to regain fragments of their own free will. She kept this revelation secret from both Arthas and Kel'Thuzad, outwardly continuing to serve while secretly plotting her revenge. Meanwhile, the Dreadlords, sensing
The Lich King's crack.
invited Sylvanas to a meeting.
The Lich
There they
King, yeah.
revealed the cause of Ner'zhul's decline and shared their plans to overthrow Arthas and seize control of Lordaeron for themselves. Sylvanas agreed to collaborate, but insisted that her involvement
Listen,
be
I don't.
on her own terms.
I don't
Dreadlords
request.
devised a plan to
I go
ambush
pew
Arthas
pew.
within the
I enjoy
capital city,
raiding.
but anticipating the possibility of his escape,
And my brain does not
Sylvanas
retain
prepared her
things
own
very well.
contingency. Her loyal banshees would escort
Hence
Arthas
why
to
we're
a
listening to
secluded
this, and I would probably
location
have to
in the
listen to
forest
this over and
where
over
the
again and
gods
take
reigned.
notes in order to
After
retain the
surviving
information that
Dreadlord's
is being
ambush
thrown at
and
me right
fleeing
now.
the city, Arthas was led by Sylvanas' sisters to an arranged meeting point. There, the banshees turned on him, killing his bodyguards and leaving him vulnerable. Hidden in the shadows, Sylvanas struck, firing a venomous arrow she had specially crafted to paralyze Arthas. Furious at her betrayal, Arthas demanded she end his life, but Sylvanas refused to grant him the mercy of a quick death. However, before she could strike, Kel'Thuzad arrived with reinforcements of Scourge forces, forcing Sylvanas and her banshees to flee. Despite her failure, she vowed to continue her pursuit of Arthas and bring him to justice for all he had done. After the scourging of Lordaeron, Arthas departed for Northrend at the Lich King's summons.
There
as
is
Kel'Thuzad went into hiding. It was at this point that Sylvanas
a
and her
rar
banshees had
or an
completely
event.
broken free of Nerzul's control.
Okay. Okay. Everything just came over to me. Holy crap. I didn't think I pulled that much. Yes.
Sylvanas' uneasy freedom was interrupted when the Dreadlord, Varimathras, approached her with an offer.
How
to join
often
him and
do
his
is it
followers
like
in
regular
their
world
quest to
quests where
rule.
everything has to like
Refusing to relinquish her hard-won freedom,
you gotta come back
Sylvanas
tomorrow for
declined.
everything to be
Varimathras
redone
warned her that
for world
those who
quests?
did not align with the new rulers would be cast aside. Seeing this as a threat from the Dreadlords, Sylvanas began preparing for inevitable attack. With only her banshees and a handful of lesser undead, she set out.
No,
to
I
take
love
them out.
these
Bolstered by her new undead allies, Sylvanas quickly defeated
Oh.
Varimathras. The Dreadlord pathetically begged for his
Frames.
life, promising to serve her.
Once again, we
and
have no
reveal
idea what frames
critical
are.
knowledge about his brothers and their defenses. Though wary
Can
of
I-
his treachery, Sylvanas saw his value and accepted his submission.
There we go.
Sylvanas set her sight on reclaiming the fallen capital city of Lordaeron from the Dreadlords who had now taken control. The final obstacle in her path was Balnazar. Using artifacts left behind from the royal family, she dismantled his demonic forces. To prove his loyalty, Sylvanas commanded Varimathras to kill Balnazar. Reluctantly, Varimathras agreed, but Balnazar's death was a deception orchestrated by the Dreadlord brothers. The two faked his death, and Balnazar lived. He would later resurface as the puppet master manipulating the Scarlet Crusade from the shadows. A story
This just
would come
disappear?
later next. With an army of
I
free
literally
men
just
and
got here and
an
it's already
abandoned
gone.
city at her disposal, Sylvanas
What?
laid the foundation for her new dominion, proclaiming herself Queen of the Forsaken.
From here on out, we shall be known as the Forsaken. We will find our own path in this world, Dreadlord, and slaughter anyone who stands in our way.
She established a nation for those who had broken free from the Lich King's control. She claimed the Undercity, the vast catacombs beneath the ruins of Lordaeron.
Oh no, not the concentrate.
Under her leadership, the Forsaken
Speaking of, we're planning out
transformed the
Qui-Gon.
storied underground labyrinth into a thriving stronghold. Varimathras informed Sylvanas of Arthas' fate in Northrend, where he had merged with the Lich King. Determined to strike back, Sylvanas turned.
It's horrible. I need a leave emote as well. They bring me much joy. An arrive and a leave emote.
To weaponize the plague of undeath for the Forsaken. Impressed by his ambition, Sylvanas appointed him Grand Apothecary and established the Royal Apothecary Society under his leadership. She imposed two conditions on him. The plague must be deadly to both the Scourge and the living, and it must be capable of killing Arthas if the chance arose. To protect his work, Sylvanas swore Putris to secrecy, knowing his experiments would provoke outrage if discovered. She also sought out her former champion, Nathanos Blightcaller. After freeing him from the Lich King's control, Sylvanas restored Nathanos to her side, naming him her champion in the Forsaken's quest for vengeance against the Lich King. Under Sylvanas' leadership, the Forsaken established themselves as a formidable force, driven by their desire for vengeance
My
and the
queen.
unyielding will of their banshee.
Yeah, I want to do another one at
Changing gears here, it's
Village.
impossible to recount
I
the
think
history
Village
of
is
the
a pretty
Tearful
nice spot
Glade
to be
without
at.
addressing the metaphorical elephant in the room, the Scarlet Crusade. After the deaths of King Menethil II and Uther the Lightbringer at Arthas' hands, the Crusade's leaders convened in Hearthglen. They debated their path forward, whether to pursue Arthas and exact revenge, or reclaim Lordaeron from the Scourge. Saidan Dathrahan ultimately directed their efforts toward the critical battlefronts of Stratholme and Anderhall to stem the undead epidemic. During an assault on Stratholme, Saidan Dathrahan became separated from his comrades.
That's what we're
and
supposed to do,
unbeknownst
right?
To them, was slain and then.
Or am I just
replaced
wasting my time here
by
right
the
now?
Dreadlord, Balnazar. When Dathrahan reappeared, no one suspected the truth, and his influence began to reshape the Crusade from within. These remnants of the Silver Hand forged alliances where they could, notably with the communities of Tyr's Hand, while also establishing a forward base in an old monastery near the capital city. As Alexandros Mograine turned his attention toward the Forsaken, Balnazar, still posing as Satan Dathrahan, manipulated events to serve his own ends. Fearing Mograine's power and the threat.
Yeah, it was pretty nice
posed by
to
the
have some
legendary
faces
weapon,
that we hadn't really
the
seen at
Ashmere,
the events
Balnazar
before come
conspired
out.
with his brother Varimathras to eliminate him.
That's what
Exploiting
I
the
like.
son of Alexandros, Reno
It's cool to
Mograine,
see everybody
and
that we've
his
seen
desire
a
for
lot of, but
recognition,
like
Balnazar
to have new
convinced
people
the
feel
young knight
comfortable to come
betray
out
his father.
makes me
Reno
really
led
happy.
Alexandros and High Inquisitor Fairbanks to Stratholme, where they were
It lets us know that we're
ambushed by the
we're doing
Scourge.
some stuff
Though
right. You know what I
Alexandros
mean?
fought valiantly, slaying countless undead, he ultimately fell. Reno used the Ashbringer to stab his own father in the back. Disillusioned by the Crusade's corruption and deviation from its noble origins, a number of members broke away to form the Argent Dawn, a more inclusive and principled order, similar to that of the previous Order of the Silver Hand. Those who remained formally embraced.
You guys
the
pay
new
attention?
name,
There's going to be a
the
test at the
Scarlet
end of this.
Crusade, cementing their transformation into a radical sect consumed by their obsession with eradicating the undead at any cost.
Out of range. You let me click on it, you son of a bitch.
The events that transpired within the halls of the Scarlet Monastery, including the chilling story of a Scarlet Crusader who, under the influence of dark forces, was driven to commit the unthinkable, murdering his own family. If you're intrigued, you'll find 2 links to nearly an hour of in-depth Scarlet Crusader lore in the description below. Now, returning to the Forsaken storyline, Sylvanas
Yes, please.
Windrunner was determined to ensure that the damned, like herself, had a place to call home. To protect her new nation and advance her goals, she sought allies among the factions of Azeroth. Sylvanas sent emissaries to both the Alliance and the Horde in pursuit of alliances. Excuse the pun. However, the ones she dispatched to the Alliance never returned. On the other hand, the kind-hearted Tauren of Thunderbluff offered
I do want
Tauren
allied
opportunities
races,
for diplomacy.
like
The
Forsaken allied
presented
races.
themselves as seeking a cure for
I
their
think would be really good.
degenerative condition, claiming that the shamanistic powers of the Horde and the life-giving energies of the earth might hold the key to their salvation. In return, they pledged their unwavering support for the Horde's endeavours throughout Lordaeron and Azeroth. In the end, the Tauren's influence persuaded Warchief Thrall to form an alliance with the Forsaken. This pact bolstered the Forsaken's chances in their fight against the Lich King, while the Horde gained a critical foothold in the Eastern Kingdoms, expanding their reach and their influence. After joining the Horde and establishing themselves in the Undercity, the Forsaken began rapidly expanding their influence. Their numbers surged dramatically, and by the 25th year after the Orcish Horde's arrival on Azeroth, their population
Everybody came over all of a sudden.
Sylvanas Windrunner, recognizing the potential of her growing army of free-willed undead, strategically delegated tasks to strengthen their hold over the Tirisfal Glades. Forsaken adventurers starting their journey in the Tirisfal Glades took on critical tasks to support the greater cause.
I don't know how I
They
like the
charged
details
against the mindless ones
meter that they
undead
have
still
either.
under the Lich King's control, who had overrun the small town of Deathnell. In addition to reclaiming Deathnell, the Forsaken were tasked with defending their lands from external threats. They fought back against the Rothhide Gnolls, and of course, the Scarlet
No, it's
Crusaders.
plate.
At the same time, the Forsaken began developing a new deadly plague. to
And is
combat
this
the
all
Scourge,
that this
but with
is?
Potential applications against the living as well.
I know
This
all of a
initiative
sudden
was
everybody was there. I'm like,
spearheaded by
oh.
the Royal Apothecary Society, furthering Sylvanas' ambitions while ensuring the Forsaken's place as a formidable force within the Horde. For the next 2 years, the forests of the Tirisfal Glades remained largely unchanged as the Forsaken steadily bolstered their forces. However, in the 27th year, the Tirisfal Glades would once again become a theatre of war. During the early stages
Oh, we're gonna pause there. Just for a second.
The Sunwell must be protected.
So
I serve Silvermoon.
is it just literally these two? Okay.
I greet you.
Boobity boobity boobie. That's right, I can't sell that. There's the chairs. That's just a matter of the insignias, right? And that's just all you get from killing the rares, right? Okay, this is pretty cool. But look at this guy. Look at how adorable. Look how heckin' cute. Oh, but look at this guy. See, I like the ugly pets. Rares, Royal Quest, Elites. Nice. Oh, they actually give you the toy for doing
The whispers do not.
tic-tac-toe. Okay. Give me a moment. Dear, your baby's still waiting for treats. You have not given her the treats. Such a horrible father. They may have knocked it around. How do you make an octopus laugh? She hears the lady talking. Okay, it's up. Okay, I'll be right back. You guys keep an eye on her.
Resubscription received. Thank you for renewing your Class 2 access.
Hello, Blue. Talk about mean. You said that Andy doesn't deserve a churu. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. Steve's toxic. I mean, we all knew this before, but Steve's toxic. Oh, I don't have like rarity up or anything like that. They're gonna need more treats, and I just sat down.
Of the Northrend campaign, when the heroes of Azeroth landed on the shores of Northrend to wage war against the Lich King, the Royal Apothecary Society finalized the Forsaken Blight, a devastating plague capable of annihilating both the living and the undead. During the
Treat dispensing.
at Angrathar the Rat.
So, how often do the world quests
fell to the Lich King. Putress appeared
refresh?
atop the
Do they
overlooking the battle
throughout the day, or do you have to
Using
wait?
Forsaken catapults, he unleashed the Blight on the forces below, indiscriminately killing Horde, Alliance, and Scourge alike, forcing the Lich King to retreat to the Icecrown Citadel. In the aftermath, it was revealed that Putress, alongside several members of the Royal Apothecary Society, had betrayed Sylvanas. They had allied with the Dreadlord Varimathras, who had secretly remained loyal to the Burning Legion and his Nathrazim brother, the Dark Lady. Together, they orchestrated a coup and seized control of Thrall and Sylvanas. During their preparation,
I like it when it glitches out.
Proudmoore arrived with grim news. In the wake of
How often do the world quests refresh?
King Varian Rin was prepared.
Is there a cool? Do they have a cooldown on them, or
Thrall assured Jaina
how do we add treats? My husband goes and grabs me the treat, the treats, and then I can refill the treat dispenser.
Message sent. Thrall, Sylvanas, and Vol'jin led the Horde forces in a daring assault on the Undercity, where Sylvanas personally struck down the traitorous Dreadlord Varimathras, reclaiming the city for the Horde. While these events unfolded, Jaina had returned to Varian.
I just got up.
Informed him that the Royal Apothecary Society and Varimathras had betrayed both the Horde and the Alliance, and the Horde were raiding
I can hear
the
it.
city. By this time, Varian had already mobilized an assault on the city, determined to bring Putress to justice and reclaim Lordaeron for the Alliance. The Alliance forces tracked Putress to the Apothecarium, where they confronted and defeated him. Tensions between the Alliance and the Horde came to a head when King Varian Rin confronted Thrall and Sylvanas in the Royal Court.
I feel like this is why nobody's really over here.
Between the two factions, only to be halted by Lady Jaina Proudmoore, who froze the fighters.
Steve, go grab me more treats, then I can refill it.
Forces out. The battle for the Undercity marked the end of the Cold War between the Alliance and the Horde, as Varian then declared open war against the Horde, solidifying the growing divide between the factions. Later that year, the war against the Lich King reached its dramatic conclusion as the heroes of Azeroth, led by the Argent Crusade and Knights of the Ebon Blade, stormed the Icecrown Citadel and defeated the Lich King, ending his reign of terror. With the Lich King's defeat, Sylvanas and the Forsaken, once driven by vengeance, found themselves without purpose, turning their focus to a new goal. They sought the complete conquest of Lordaeron. Sylvanas oversaw improvements to the Tirisfal Glades, starting with the transformation of Brill, installing Forsaken architecture and strengthening defences at the Bulwark. The inclusion of former Scourge members, particularly the now free-willed Valkyr, brought a new era for the Forsaken, the ability to raise new members of free-willed undead, creating a second generation of Forsaken. 2 years later,
Little
as the
vacuum
world
cleaners.
turned its attention to the mysterious Isle of Pandaria, the fight for control of the Scarlet Monastery reached a
Pandaria.
critical point. New leaders emerged to helm the Scarlet Crusade, including one survivor of the original leadership, Sally Whitemane, the High Inquisitor. But now we introduce Lillian Voss, a key figure opposing the Scarlet Crusade. She declared that the only way to truly end their threat was to eliminate Whitemane. However, this task required the use of a sacred weapon, the Blades of the Anointed, and they would be used to ensure her permanent defeat, as she would otherwise continually be resurrected. In a decisive move, Lillian joined forces with Horde and Alliance heroes to storm the monastery. Together, they decimated the remaining Scarlet forces and finally defeated Sally Whitemane.
Gotta make him do stuff.
The Crusade's end was not absolute. 2 years after Whitemane's death, the Scarlet Crusade faced its most formidable challenge yet, the relentless assault of the Knights
Good boy.
of the Ebon Blade. During the third invasion of the Burning Legion, the Ebon Blade launched an attack on the Scarlet Monastery as part of their mission to resurrect Sally Whitemane as a member of their new Four Horsemen. With ruthless precision, the Ebon Blade ensured that the Scarlet
She's like,
Crusade
"Whoa,
was utterly
I do."
destroyed. As the Scarlet Crusade's reign of terror drew to a close, other forces began to rise in power.
I gotta refill it. My queen!
Windrunner, come forward.
War Chief.
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
In the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted you. Nor would I have ever imagined in our darkest time that you would be the one to save us.
But my dude? You're all tangled, my dude.
A vision. They whisper a name. Many will not understand. But you must step out of the shadows and lead.
Treatbot reloaded. Oh no! No, go back! Where was I? Shit. We're past this. Past that. Fuck. Where were we? Ah,
The Burning Legion, the Ebon
Let's go
Blade
from right there.
launched an attack on the Scarlet Monastery as part of their mission to resurrect Sally Whitemane as a member of their new Four Horsemen. With ruthless precision, the Ebon Blade ensured that the Scarlet Crusade was utterly destroyed.
oh, I like
As the
Lao
Scarlet
Lao.
Crusade's reign of terror drew to a close, other forces began to rise in power.
I like Lao Lao a lot too. Like it's my queen again.
Windrunner, come forward.
War Chief.
The lower spirits say death will claim me soon.
In the end, death claims us all. But the Horde will live on.
I have never trusted
I'm gonna bring in another character because you're supposed to be able to level pretty fast in this too, yeah.
ever imagined in our darkest time
I'm gonna pin this one.
that you would be the one to save us. The spirits have granted me clarity, a vision. They whisper a name. Many will not understand.
That's right, I did stuff the other day. I tried to get some stuff, enough stuff done to do, to get gear. Holy crap. Oh shit.
As the Burning Legion launched its third invasion of Azeroth, the devastation was felt across every corner of the world, including the Tirisfal Glades. Travad, a human paladin and leader of the secretive Tyr's Guard since the Third War, sought to protect the legacy of Tyr. He met
I like
with
how
the
this
High
is
Lord
so
of the
bugged that
Silver
I
Hand
can't
to warn
look
that
at the
recent
gear.
incursions by the Twilight's Hammer had revealed the location of Tyr's tomb, jeopardizing the sacred artifact, the Silver Hand. Travad insisted it must be sealed forever, but only after recovering the hammer. The hero paladin
I can't
retrieved
compare the
Silver
gear 'cause it's so
Hand,
bugged.
and the group fled as the tomb began to collapse. As the last surviving member of Tyr's Guard, Travad explained that Tyr's body, the tomb's secrets, and Zakaj's prison were now buried beneath
You're talking
feet
about,
of stone and water. After the third invasion,
Yeah,
of
I can't
Azeroth by the Burning
look at
Legion,
this
the world
fucking gear.
faced a new crisis. When the Dark Titan Sargeras wounded
Let's take
the
that.
planet, Azeroth's very lifeblood began seeping to the surface, manifesting as an extraordinary substance known as Azerite. This material, with its immense power, became a catalyst.
I can't
for
compare
the
them,
conflict.
'cause everything's
Seizing
so
the
bugged.
opportunity, War Chief Sylvanas Windrunner devised a plan to secure Kalimdor and destabilize the Alliance from within, hoping to trigger a political
I mean, it was
crisis
118
that
versus
would lead
108, so
to its collapse. The Horde's strategy included holding Darnassus hostage to sow discord among the Alliance and further weaken their unity. While the following
That's so
war,
dumb.
the War of the Thorns, is a tale for another time, its devastating climax came when Sylvanas ordered the burning of the World Tree, Teldrassil. This act
That was the greatest
ignited
campfire
the
ever.
Fourth War on Azeroth, as the Alliance retaliated with ferocity, marching toward Lordaeron Keep for a decisive confrontation. The Alliance, led by Anduin Wrynn and Genn Greymane, arrived in Tirisfal Glades with the Third Fleet, storming Brill as they advanced south. Horde defenders, including
It's taking me a long
Varrock
time to even
Sauron,
reload my
David
UI.
Wolf, and Lorthamar Theron, mounted a fierce defense. The
Hi,
Alliance forces
Blue.
pushed the
Thank
Horde
you for
back
the
into capital
resub.
city, laying siege to Lordaeron Keep. As the siege
Hope you're
seemed to
well.
turn in the Alliance favor, Sylvanas launched a counterattack. In
Bro.
a desperate move, Sylvanas deployed an Azerite war machine to destroy
My
the
WoW
Alliance
crash.
siege towers. When the machine was neutralized, she resorted to blighting the battlefield, killing both Alliance and Horde troops and raising the dead soldiers. This ruthless tactic sowed dissent within the Horde, particularly in Saurfang, who became disillusioned with Sylvanas' methods. As the battle reached its peak, Jaina Proudmoore arrived on a flying Kultiran flagship, using frost magic to neutralize the Blight and undead forces. She destroyed part of the keep's walls, allowing the Alliance to storm the city. Reinforcements from Sylvanas' sister, Alaria Windrunner, and Gelbin Mekatork turned the tide, forcing the Horde to retreat further. After being confronted by the Alliance at the keep's entrance, Saurfang surrendered and was taken prisoner. The Alliance leaders eventually confronted Sylvanas in the throne room, and they demanded her surrender. Instead, she declared their victory meaningless, triggering a massive explosion of stored blight that flooded the keep and the surrounding city. As the throne room collapsed, Jaina teleported the Alliance leaders to safety while the Horde escaped aboard a gunship. The battle for Lordaeron left both the capital city and Brill in ruins, with the region overrun by blighted undead. Lordaeron Keep was deemed uninhabitable, and the efforts to reclaim the area faltered. The mighty orc warrior, Varrock Sauerfang, deeply disillusioned by Sylvanas' leadership, grew increasingly concerned that her actions were tearing the Horde apart. The burning of Teldrassil had appalled him. Captured during the battle for Lordaeron, Saurfang spent time in the Stormwind Stockade, reflecting on the Horde's future. There, he confided
You
in
toxic
King
little
Anduin
shit.
Wrynn, revealing his plans to challenge Sylvanas for the mantle of War Chief and asking for the Alliance's aid in overthrowing her. A temporary truce was called between the Alliance and the Horde, and their combined forces marched on Orgrimmar to end Sylvanas' reign. However, before the battle began, Saurfang issued a personal challenge to Sylvanas, a Mak Gorah, a duel of honor. Despite Thrall's warnings that he would likely die, Saurfang stood firm. As she armed herself, Saurfang was granted the Dragora by Thrall and Charlemagne by Anduin. After initially gaining the upper hand, Sylvanas was hurt and slashed across the eye. Sylvanas lashed out. With these words, she revealed her true disdain for the faction she had led. Unleashing a blast of devastating magic, Sylvanas struck down Saurfang, killing him instantly. She then abandoned the Horde entirely, leaving Orgrimmar and the faction she had once commanded in turmoil.
Standing as one.
See, when are we gonna get a fucking World of Warcraft anime? I watch that.
By the 35th year, Sylvanas Windrunner's story had diverged
There we go,
entirely
now it's letting
from
me
the
do
Tirisfal
it.
Glades, marking the end of her direct involvement in its history. So, attention turned back to the Tirisfal Glades and the Forsaken, who began reclaiming the ruins of Lordaeron. With Brill successfully retaken and under reconstruction, influential Forsaken figures like Lillian Voss, Calian
Yes.
Menethil, Deathstalker Commander Belmont, Dark Ranger Velenara, and Master Apothecary Faranal gathered.
Yeah, we
to
need
strategize
suggestions
the
on
next
where to get
steps in securing the
better
region.
Lao Lao.
Together,
We
they
are the
established
Titan's
the new
bedrock
Desolate
and
Council.
foundation.
All right. What are we going to do about the
Please,
plague in the
with the
Undercity?
The new Desolate
I
Council
understand your
wanted to figure
frustration.
out how to cleanse the city. And after a victory against a materialized manifestation of the
Oh,
plague,
Steve's so
the
toxic
ruins
today.
of Lordaeron were finally liberated from the lingering blight, allowing the Forsaken to reclaim their home and take a significant step towards securing the future.
Are we really going to trust a Menethil on the council?
My place is here among you, and I vow to serve all our people.
I take you at your words, Lady Menethil. And we, the apothecaries, will help shape our brighter future.
Then it's settled. We are the Desolate Council. We are the Forsaken.
Wicked.
With the capital city
Yeah.
finally cleansed after all these years, one might assume the history of the Tirisfal Glades had reached its conclusion. However, there's one more story to revisit. In the 40th year, as
We pause that again. No babies behind me. Not gonna run anybody over. That's kind of what we use the Pix place for, because we had like, so that Discord used to have so many different categories in it. I've been tempted to use the categories and stuff again for like IRL, like doing a whole thing for that. But we mainly just use, I mean, you can use general, but for like pictures and stuff, you can just use the Pix area too. buddy. Hello, handsome fella. There's a little handsome fella right there. Okay. Okay, let's
Both the Horde and the Alliance embarked on their journeys to the Dragon Isles. The Tomb of Tyr saw significant developments once again. After the devastating loss of his order and the securing of the tomb's artifacts, Travad discovered that the structure
don't worry,
was
that'll
not
fix itself here
completely
soon.
collapsed. Resolving to stand vigil as the last of the Tyr's guard,
Glasses.
he remained in the fight for several years.
Beast
over time,
Mastery.
the tomb's defense systems inexplicably locked him out. So, a hero, accompanied by Watcher Koronos, ventured to the Tomb of Tyr in search of Tyr's preserved memories. There they encountered the frustrated
Talent
Travad.
builds.
Travad joined their mission, determined to assist them in reactivating the tomb's mechanisms. He hoped these systems would house enough of Tyr's memories to trigger the activation of the Silver Scale, an artifact essential to reconstructing Tyr's new body. Within the main chamber, Travad valiantly defended the group from the tomb's defense systems while guiding them deeper into the ruins. Their journey led to the Dark Walk.
This is giving me
Dark
problems. This is
passage
incompatible.
that
This is
connected the tomb's main
incompatible.
chamber to the grave prison of Zakaj. When the first console short-circuited, Travad directed the hero to a secondary console. Using the Silver Scale, the hero activated it, unveiling Tyr's final stand against Zakaj the Corruptor. Witnessing Tyr's ultimate sacrifice reignited Travad's faith. And so, the story of the Tirisfal Glades comes full circle. A land forged in the ancient might of the Vrykul, shaped by the rise and fall of Lordaeron, and forever scarred by the defiance of the Forsaken. Okay, with the history of the Tirisfal Glades coming to an end,
I'll
I
fix
think
the
it's best we
YouTube
jump
here in a
right
second.
in and head over to the Land of the Greats. Our next stop on this world tour, the entire history of Durotar. Now, you could trace Durotar's history all the way back
Delete.
to another world entirely,
Yes.
to Draenor, to the Orcs' origins,
Delete.
and their first
Yes.
steps onto Azeroth. But for this video,
Import.
I think it's best to start at the
Single
point
target.
most players will recognize, the founding of the zone itself. We'll quickly go over what happened before the creation of Durotar. But if you want the full details of how the Orcs escaped from Draenor and settled on Azeroth, you can check out our dedicated video in the description below. In the year that we now denote as Year Zero, the
AoE
Orcish
slash
horde
myth.
stormed through
Plus.
the Dark Portal and landed in the Eastern Kingdoms. Over the next few years, they fought relentless wars with the humans, sacking Stormwind, pushing through Khazmodan, and trying to conquer Lordaeron. But the might of the Alliance proved too strong. After 6 long years of war across the Eastern Kingdoms, the Orcs were driven back to the Dark Portal. Many fled back through it, and then were later chased down by the Sons of Azeroth, another story we've recently covered. But some of the Orcs remained on Azeroth. A few disappeared into the wilds and went into hiding, but most of them were captured and imprisoned in the Alliance internment camps. In one of the biggest of those camps, a camp known as Durnhold, located in the southern reaches of Lordaeron, a
There we
young
go.
Orc orphan named Thrall was being raised as the personal slave of the camp's commander, Aedelus Blackmore.
Edit
For the
mode.
next 10 years, Thrall was
Okay, it's
trained
on
to
that
be a
already.
for the humans, drilled in tactics, philosophy, combat, and
Then
force
why?
to become a gladiator. 18 years after the Orcs arrived on Azeroth, Thrall finally escaped
It's because
his
that's all I
imprisonment.
need.
Believing that there was more for him beyond the camp walls, his journey eventually led him to the Frostwolf clan in the north, where he learned the truth of his heritage and claimed his place as their rightful leader. From there, Thrall began freeing the remaining Orcs still imprisoned across Azeroth. But while he was rallying his people, dark omens began to spread across Lordaeron. A strange plague was creeping through villages, and a mysterious prophet appeared to Thrall in visions.
There's the cooldown
This
manager. There's
prophet,
that.
known to Thrall as the Oracle, warned of a great darkness on the horizon and urged him to lead his people west to Kalimdor, with the only other option being one of staying in the Eastern Kingdoms, running from the Alliance for the rest of time. Thrall answered this strange call. He gathered what remained of the Orcs, seized a fleet of human ships, and set sail into the unknown in search of this oracle. But the journey to Kalimdor didn't come without its challenges.
I don't want to hear
Just
how
off
that
the coast
sounds.
of the
Okay.
mainland, Thrall and his Orcs were shipwrecked on the Darkspear Islands, where they encountered the Darkspear Trolls.
Let
After fighting
us-
alongside them against attacking
Actually, where's
Alliance
my-
forces, both groups were captured by Murlocs, serving the Sea Witch, Zarjira. Thrall and his Orcs eventually managed to escape but the chieftain of the Dark
Bro, what is
Tribe
happening to my
Saint
bags
George
right now,
eventually
too?
wounded in the battle.
Oh
With his
my
dying breath,
goodness.
he asked Thrall to protect his people.
What is happening?
Honoring this wish, the Darkspear swore loyalty to the Orcs and joined Thrall on his path to Kalimdor. When they finally made it to the mainland of Kalimdor,
Yeah, also,
they
Nick's
were
what's
met
kind of
by
nice
Ken
about
Goldhoof and his
um,
Tauren. Thrall's forces helped Ken
good
push
and
back
bad
the
about
Centaur, a
the
race of half-human, half-orc
threads is
beasts
that you can
who were
make
attacking
threads,
Tauren settlements.
and then it's just a
And in
matter of people
return,
seeing the threads there.
Tauren promised to guide the Orcs toward
We can make the threads for different stuff too, but
But not all of the Orc clans followed this path so peacefully. The Warsong clan, under the command of Gromash Hellscream, were sent
Did I
into
still have
Ashenvale
these from
to
BFA?
harvest lumber as punishment for attacking humans without Thrall's order. There, they clashed with the native Night Elves, and as the battles dragged on, a pit lord known as Manaroth from the invading Burning Legion saw an opportunity. He offered the Warsong his blood in exchange for loyalty, and those who accepted
I need
fell
to
under demonic control. Eventually, the Orcs would find the prophet.
I need
and
to
urging of
queue
the
for time
mysterious
walking.
Oracle, who was now revealed to be Medivh, Thrall
But
asked
what do
the
you
one of the
mean? What do I
human
mean?
leaders, Jaina Proudmoore, to put an end
So we
to
can
this
make the
madness.
threads like I did for the
Together, they
we're
captured
looking for
Hellscream and
ideas
freed
for
him
the
from
Twitch
Manaroth's
Hawaii
corruption. Thrall then joined him in a final confrontation with the
emotes
It certainly wasn't easy,
and
but Thrawn
overlays.
struck the killing blow on the demon. His sacrifice
And I
destroyed
made
Manaroth
a
and freed the Orcs from their demonic curse forever.
oh, what do we want to do?
Meanwhile, across Kalimdor, the Third War raged on. The Burning Legion continued to press on with its assault on Azeroth until its commander, Archibald,
Yeah, we have
was
we have a
defeated
thread
at
set
the
up in
Battle of
general
Mount Ijal. With his
for
death,
it.
the Legion's invasion was broken.
And the only problem
the
is when you
Orcs
make a new
finally
thread,
came to an
unless
end.
you ping
After
everybody in
Archibald's
it,
defeat at Mount
nobody's
Ijal,
really going to see it.
Azeroth's races were left fractured, reeling from the devastation of the Third War.
So that
For the
sucks.
Orcs, the end of that war marked something far more important, a chance to start again. Thrall led his people south, looking for a
Hello,
home. They settled in the
hit
harsh,
this and I hit
unscorched
accept.
lands
Oh, my
around
quest log
Kalimdor's
is full.
eastern coast. But this land wasn't empty. It was occupied by the native Razormane Quillboar, vicious, boar-like creatures with jagged spines.
I still
that were
have
known
it.
for
Okay,
their
I do.
ferocious tempers. But the Quillboar weren't new enemies to the Orcs.
Okay, I
More
have the
than
Isle
that,
of Dorn
they had
stuff.
fought the Quillboar alongside the
I'm gonna
Tauren
abandon
on their
this.
earlier journey to seek out the Oracle during the Third War.
Abandon this.
Thrall's warriors clashed with the Razormane once again, driving them back into the canyons and the cliffs. As the Quillboar were
Bro, why do I have Mechagon stuff?
The Orcs
I think I was working on something for that.
Orcish camps grew.
God,
out
I
of
still have an
the
Arn
region,
Plain
and a
stuff. What the
foothold was
crap?
carved out of the unforgiving Red Earth. To Thrall, this was more than just survival. This
Oh, these are all for
was
the
a new
skips.
beginning. To honor the father he never truly knew, he named the land after him. Where they had settled became Durotar, in memory of Duratan. And with that name came a transformation.
Oh,
The Horde was no longer a demonic war machine.
I just realized the quest is fucking
And trolls all stood
across
together
your
under
warband.
Thrall's new banner. In the north of this
I didn't know
new
that.
region of Durotar, they began building more.
That's
than
how you
just
complete it
huts
so
and
fast.
palisades. They started to build a warrior city, a fortress to stand as the heart of their new horde, carved from stone and fire, raised with the help of goblin engineers, Tauren builders, Darkspear hunters, and even the Mok'Nathal champion Rexxar. Their city rose quickly. In tribute to the fallen war chief that had led the horde through its early days on Azeroth, Thrall named their new city Orgrimmar, a fitting tribute to Orgrim Doomhammer. Now, we could wrap this story up here with a fairy tale style ending.
I'm gonna keep the
Horde
garrison
had
stuff.
A new city, a harsh but promising land to call their own, and a growing nation with countless newcomers eager to join. But of course, stories in Azeroth are never that simple. What could possibly go wrong with a new beginning like this?
See, I like BFA.
The Alliance were on their way. After Lordaeron had been devastated by Arthas and his Scourge, a massive part of the Alliance fleet abandoned the continent and set sail into the unknown, hoping to find survivors. What they didn't realise was that the Alliance forces that had escaped and travelled to Kalimdor a few years earlier
Okay, I'm gonna
had certainly survived. Led
go.
by Jaina Proudmoore, the Alliance forces who remained
Do
on
this.
Kalimdor after the Third War had settled in the Dustwallow Marsh. On its eastern coast, they built a stronghold, the port city of Theramore. Just down the coast from Durotar
Thermal.
and the newly built warrior city of Orgrimmar, Theramore's position made the fragile truce between the Horde and the Alliance essential if both sides hoped for
Are you
a
guys getting all
peace
this
in
information?
Kalimdor. But that
All this
fragile
lore?
peace was about to shatter. The Alliance fleet were on their way, and leading the charge was Jaina's father, Grand Admiral Dalin Proudmoore. A
You like- here.
celebrated hero of the Second War, Dalin was
Indy,
one of the
you like
Horde's
my,
fiercest enemies on the
my
sea,
chicken?
and he was scarred by what the Horde
My
had
chicken
done
pet?
to the Eastern Kingdoms. To him, the Horde would always be monsters, and his arrival
My most
would threaten
fierce
the entire
fighter.
balance of Kalimdor. When Dalin's fleet reached Kalimdor's shores, Jaina met him in Theramore, where she was accompanied by Rexar. She pleaded with her father, telling him that the Horde were no longer their enemies. But Dalin refused to listen. He could not accept that the Horde had changed. Instead,
I've always
he
wanted to
ordered
play through
their
like the
capture
Warcraft
and
games and
fighting
stuff.
broke out on the streets of Theramore. Rexar managed to escape and fled back to Durotar, carrying word of the Alliance threat to Vol'jin and Thrall. With the peace between the two factions now shattered, Thrall wasted no time. They would meet this threat head-on and marched towards Theramore Isle. Yet before the attack began, Thrall confronted Jaina herself, giving her a difficult and final choice. Stand with her father and reignite the war between the two factions, or stand with the Horde and preserve the peace on Kalimdor. And as the story goes, Jaina chose the peace. The Horde would storm Theramore Isle, orcs, trolls and Tauren all fighting side by side. And
There's so many
together,
people down
they
here.
brought down the Grand Admiral, Dalin Proudmoore. After the death of Admiral Proudmoore, the battle had ended and the Horde withdrew peacefully, returning to Durotar to continue building their nation. But as we know, peace never lasts for long in Azeroth, and soon another threat would rise to challenge the Horde's new home. Most Horde members who've travelled through Durotar will recognise Thunder Ridge. Not long after Durotar was founded, Rexar and his companions were sent to Thunder Ridge to collect Shimmerweed, but when they arrived, something was clearly wrong.
Okay, that's
The
done.
Thunder lizards that lived there were acting strangely.
The Thunder
feeling aggressive
Lizards.
and almost deranged. It didn't take long to uncover the cause. Humans had set up a lumber operation nearby, tearing through the forest and driving the lizards into madness. With no other choice, the orcs were forced.
And of
to
course
put
it's
the
Low
creatures
Walker
down
Cho.
to prevent further chaos. But the source of this problem wasn't actually the human logging
Go away,
trade.
Low
It was
Walker
coming
Cho.
from somewhere else
Listen.
entirely. The rest of the trees hadn't been cut down. They were burned and corrupted by demonic magic. The source of this
It's
wasn't
a little
humans,
robot chicken.
but a group of orcs themselves. The Burning Blade clan, once feared across the
Shoot,
Eastern
where am I going?
Kingdoms and known to the humans as the Flaming
Bless
Sword, they
you.
were renowned for their deadly blade masters and fought in the First and Second Wars as part of the Old Horde. But when the Horde fell and Thrall rose to power, many Burning Blade warriors broke free from demonic influence and then pledged themselves
Did you hear
to the
him?
new Horde. But not all of
That
them
was loud, yeah.
walked this peaceful path. A faction of the corrupted Burning Blade remained loyal.
Scares
to
the shit out of me
Burning
all
Legion.
the time.
Sometime after the Third War, a
See
lesser
this little
demon
boy?
named Zmodril,
Do you see them
a
little boy
master of
peeps?
deception and infiltration,
Do
remained
you?
on Azeroth and began rebuilding this cult in secret. He preyed on hatred, recruiting orcs and humans alike.
Do you see this little boy?
convincing each side that he could help them wipe out each other. Zmodlor's plot nearly succeeded. Aegwyn, the former guardian of Tirisfal, and Lady Jaina Proudmoore confronted him and his followers at Dreadmist Peak in the Barrens. The two managed to banish Zmodlor and end his twisted plan before it could ignite another bloodbath. In the 25th year, many young orcs and trolls began their journey through Azeroth, and it all started in the Valley of Trials. It was here that they were faced with their first real tests, confronting threats spreading across Durotar. These trials served to aid the Horde, but also to prove they were ready to face the challenges of Azeroth and what
Where are they?
lay beyond.
Oh, there it
They were
is.
ordered to cull the local boar population.
Look at all the
lay
fucking
down scourges,
debuffs.
and eliminate prowling
Oh,
Falcon
my
Kings,
frames.
lesser demons that had recently
Holy
begun
crap.
murdering the caves in the cliffs to the north. Those caves, once a quiet network of natural tunnels, had become
What
corrupted
is
by the
this?
presence of the Burning Blade. Though the demons there were weak, their growing numbers were beginning to
Is
spill
that just
into the
all-
valley, raising concerns that the Shadow Council was gaining influence in the region. The Shadow Council being a group of mortal warlocks that still serve the Burning Legion. Among the wildlife here, a particularly troublesome scorpid named Sarkoth had earned a reputation for attacking careless initiates. and more orcs and trolls were sent to deal with it. Despite the dangers, the valley also remained a place of labour, with orcish peons gathering lumber from the few trees scattered across the harsh landscape. By the 25th year, records show that Orgrimmar, the Horde's capital, housed around 14,000.
Is that what that was?
And across all of Durotar,
Bro,
the population
you
reached
saw how many
approximately
fucking
21,000.
debuffs were on there. I need to go
25%
back and
of
like
Durotar's
clip that shit or
population
something.
were
Holy
orcs and
fuck,
trolls.
man.
The numbers tell a clear story. A
That
story
was
of the
so
deep bond
much.
between the two races. And that bond only
Here, let me
grew
get this
stronger
one done.
following a painful betrayal by Hexmaster Zalazane, a powerful witch doctor of the Dark.
This is the flying one.
Once the chieftain, Vol'jin's closest friend. Corrupted by dark voodoo. and
By the
haunted
way,
by
the
visions
expansion
from
comes
below,
out next month.
Zalazane turned on his own people. As the Darkspear settled on the Echo Isles during their exodus to Kalimdor, Zalazane's mind broke under the weight of his own power. He used twisted magic to strip his kin of their free will, enslaving
Just a
them
heads
to
up.
his own command. As his control over the Isles spread, the number of free Darkspear trolls began to vanish. Fearing the complete loss of his people, Vol'jin made a difficult choice. He ordered the Darkspear tribe to abandon their new home. Seeking safety, the Darkspear fled to the coast of Durotar. There, the orcs welcomed them in as brothers-in-arms, of course, granting them land of their own to build their fishing village of Sen'jin, giving the trolls a fresh start again. The Darkspear trolls, alongside their Horde allies, launched frequent attacks against Zalazane's stronghold on the Echo Isles. Many brave trolls and Horde champions had journeyed to the Echo Isles to try and defeat him, and more than a few returned claiming victory, even presenting what they believed was Zalazane's severed head. But it was an illusion. Days later, this head would be revealed as
He's such a good little man.
rocks, a bundle of coconuts, or worse, the head of an unfortunate Darkspear slave.
I need to
Zalazane
finish
was
killing
still
this stuff,
alive
that
and
way I
well on
can-
the Echo Isles, but the trolls and the orcs of Durotar would need to prioritize their forces elsewhere. Zalazane wasn't the only one trying to unravel the fragile
Am I in
peace of
oh shit,
Durotar
I'm in combat.
during this time. The next threat to the Horde's new way of life didn't come from across the sea or even from the outside of their
My
borders.
pet is
It came
dead?
from within Orgrimmar itself, or more specifically, from beneath it. The city had been built over a fiery network of tunnels the Horde named Ragefire Chasm. At first, these lava-filled caverns seemed harmless.
Oh,
far
of course
below
it's
the
already
streets
done.
of the capital. But that changed when the enemies of the Horde began using them as a refuge. A group of trogs had burrowed their way into the chasm.
Do I not have it on my
slowly gathering strength
bars?
and
But I
preparing
had
to
this on my
strike from
bars.
below. And worse still, a splinter sect of the Shadow Council made their home there as well. This group, known as the Searing Blade, was the sister faction to the infamous Burning Blade.
There we
Backed
go.
by the Shadow Council, they were determined to undermine Thrall's new horde and bring it down from within. The Searing Blade was led by three dark figures. Taragaman the Hungerer, a Felguard who was left on Kalimdor after the Third War, Jurgosh the Invoker, a powerful orc warlock who had pledged himself to the Shadow Council, and Bazilan, a satyr consumed by corruption. From the Ragefire Chasm they plotted the downfall of everything the Horde had built, but Thrall was not blind to the threat. He left its destruction to the rising adventurers of Azeroth. When the champions of the Horde were strong enough, they descended into the chasm, struck down the Trogs and the Searing Blade, and they returned to the streets of Orgrimmar, victorious. For the time being, the threat within the Ragefire Chasm was over. The history of World of Warcraft really accelerates between the 25th and the 27th year, as both the Horde and
Okay,
the
where do I wanna
Alliance
go with
faced
this?
two monumental events, the invasion of Outland and the war against the Lich King in Northrend. When the war in the north finally ended and the trolls returned home to their camp in Durotar, the Darkspear tribe prepared for a new battle, one of their own making. They launched a campaign to reclaim their homeland, the Echo Isles. The Darkspear fought their way through waves of hexed trolls, inching closer to the heart of the Isles where Zalazane awaited them, summoning foul magic and raising a powerful barrier to shield himself. Cornered but still defiant, Zalazane boasted that no living being could break through his shield and that he was untouchable. But then came the laughter.
Trying to think of what.
The mocking voice of Buon Samdi, the lower of the dead,
That's
echoed
there.
across the Isles.
Buon
Furious that
Samdi.
Zalazane had dared to meddle in his domain, Buon Samdi shattered the shield and unleashed his wrath,
Fucking love Buon Samdi. He's so much fun.
destroying the Hexmaster from within. And with that, Zalazane's dark reign over the Echo Isles
This
came
is a
to
passive.
violent but final end. But even after reclaiming their homeland, the Darkspear trolls still faced lingering threats across the Echo Isles, from crazed raptors and violent Naga that continued to challenge their hold.
There's
over
Kill
the island.
Command. Is there no more like
In the 28th year, everything changed. Azeroth's surface was shattered by the elemental chaos and the explosive return of Deathwing, the Destroyer. And unfortunately for the Orcs, Durotar didn't escape the destruction. The geography of Durotar was reshaped almost instantly, flooding from the mighty
I haven't
South
unlocked it
Fury
yet.
River, one of the most
It's fine.
prominent rivers
Excuse
in
me.
Kalimdor, spilled across the land during the Cataclysm.
one some
With
D?
a quarter of the
He's so
region
much
transformed
fun. I
from
like
dry
him a
desert
lot.
into wetland, and the newly flooded area became known as the South Fury.
I just did
Waters.
the
sudden
the
change
troll,
wiped
the
out
Darkspear
local wildlife, including the
Heritage Armor
Thunder
quest
Lizards that
line.
once roamed there.
And that was a lot of
Orgrimmar,
fun.
the heart of
I
the
did it
Horde,
offline, of
didn't
course.
escape unscathed either. Large sections of the city were burned during the elemental unrest, and while many saw ruin and despair, one orc saw opportunity. During the events of the Cataclysm, Warchief Thrall had stepped down so he could focus on healing the world, but by doing so, he left leadership of the Horde in the hands of Garrosh.
Seems like there's usually a
Garrosh didn't see this damage
boss
as
over
a
here.
threat to Orgrimmar. He saw it as a chance to reshape the Horde's capital into something new, not just a warrior city, but a mighty fortress. He ordered Orgrimmar and Durotar to be reinforced with iron battlements, barricades and training grounds, and this idea turned out to be the right move, because Orgrimmar was about to be tested. The uneasy peace with the Alliance was crumbling.
I like
and
my
the
little
shadow of
bat.
War was once again falling over Durotar.
I do have a lot more pets that I want to grab at some point.
War Chief Garrosh Hellscream revealed his next move to drive the Alliance out of Kalimdor entirely and claim the continent for the Horde. His first step was to attack Theramore, the Alliance's strongest military outpost on
Hell
the
yeah.
continent. Garrosh launched a bold campaign to cut off Kalimdor's coastline, using the Horde's fleet to block sea access. Then, in a devastating show of force, he destroyed Theramore Isle. The Alliance fleet, hearing this news, struck back swiftly, and a massive naval battle broke out in Bladefist Bay, the small port just outside of Orgrimmar. But Garrosh's war wasn't only against the Alliance here. His brutality and hunger for control began to tear the Horde apart from within. He branded the entire Darkspear tribe as traitors. He sent his personal bodyguards, an elite fighting force of the Horde known as the Korkron, to the Echo Isles, placing the trolls there under martial law. This
playlist is for like listening to WoW lore while you fall asleep. I know some people actually retain stuff better. They listen to it while they're sleeping.
Before this kind of mutiny could amount to anything, an attempt was made on Vol'jin's life.
Oh,
He had
let's
been
see if
sent
our
to Pasarang Wild
debuffs are
with
still all
Pandaria
screwed
with
up.
Korkron forces to investigate the Sorok. The Sorok are feral, lizard-like humanoids with the sole purpose of just causing trouble, and they were slowing the Horde's progress in Pandaria. But this investigative mission was nothing more than a setup. The Orcs had planned to assassinate the Darkspear leader. The attempt on Vol'jin's life failed, and though he was badly wounded, he managed to escape. With his people under threat and Lor'themar still
Oh
occupied on the
my
Iron
gosh.
Border in Pandaria,
That's what I'm
Vol'jin was
supposed to
forced
hit?
to act himself. He
Or it's just a bunch of different stuff. Oh, to get it going.
And so the period known
There's
as the
so many
Darkspear
debuffs. The debuffs are ridiculous,
started
man.
with the liberation of the Echo Isles and pushed all the way through to Razor Hill. Vol'jin's forces gained momentum, and soon they were joined by Thrall, Bane Bloodhoof, and Chen Stormstout, each of them not willing to let Garrosh twist the Horde into a tool of tyranny. The Darkspear Rebellion pushed Garrosh and his so-called True Horde back to the gates of Orgrimmar.
Dude,
But
this
they
is
weren't
so
the only
bad.
ones closing in. The Alliance had also joined the hunt. With both factions now bearing down on the city, the siege of Orgrimmar was about to begin. As the Darkspear Rebellion weakened the True Horde from within, the Alliance planned a surprise attack on Bladefist.
Dare you take the recycle of the curb?
Meanwhile, Vol'jin and Bane Bloodhoof gained control over most of Durotar and the Barrens. Vol'jin also sent an elite squadron of Goblin Special Forces.
We're at
known as the
99%.
Gob Squad,
What
to
the heck?
investigate disappearances across Durotar. Their search led them to Ragefire Chasm, where they uncovered Garrosh's dark
Oh
plans.
my god.
Breeding proto-drakes,
Oh
forging
my god.
weapons, and delving into twisted
Help me,
shrines.
please.
Garrosh was prepared well. He
Holy
reinforced Orgrimmar,
crap.
the Dragonmaw clan, Corcoran elite forces, and the Black Fuse Company's war machines. And he also secured an alliance with the Klaxi, the Mantid Paragons from Pandaria. After discovering the Vault of Yar-Sharaj on Pandaria, Garrosh travelled to the Vale of Eternal Blossoms, where he battled the leader of the Shadowpan, Taranzu, and used
The frames.
waters to awaken the heart of Yar-Sharaj, an ancient old god relic that can be used as the ultimate weapon. If you would like to find out all the details of the events across Pandaria, including the ones of the Siege of Orgrimmar, you can check out our video on the full lore explanation of the entire expansion down in the description below. Inside the city,
Dude, the
United
lows were all
forces
really
freed
cool too.
prisoners and fought Garrosh's dark shamans. After a long drawn-out battle, the champions of Azeroth
Bro, what do we
confronted
pick up?
Garrosh himself in his sanctum, called the Underhold. Still alive, Garrosh was then taken into custody. As the leaders of the Alliance and the Horde gathered in Grommash Hold, Thrall prepared to execute Garrosh. But leader of the Alliance, Varian
We
Ring,
leveled up though.
intervened. He insisted that Garrosh should stand trial, and Taranzu offered to bring him to Pandaria. Varian declared that while the Horde had committed grave crimes, he would give them one more chance, so long as they upheld their honour. And with that, the siege of Orgrimmar had ended, but peace between the two factions was uncertain. The civil war
Can I
against
finish-
Garrosh had already shown one undeniable
Finish this
truth.
up?
The city of Orgrimmar was not as impenetrable as they thought, and it could be breached. That lesson would stay in the back of the mind of some of the Horde, and under High Overlord Varrock Saurfang,
Man, that was Plater as well. I might need to adjust Plater and just not have it show so much stuff that showed everybody's debuffs in one little tiny area.
Stood guard over every gate, and Sylvanas Windrunner grew confident. As the new war chief, Sylvanas had bigger plans that went far beyond simple defense. She managed to spin a web of deception across Azeroth, planting the idea that the Horde were preparing to seize Silithus.
Oh, that is.
Tyrande Whisperwind took the bait. Determined to protect Kalimdor, she mobilized nearly the entire Night Elf military and marched them south towards Silithus.
Nope,
That
bye.
was never the real plan. By pulling the Night Elves away from their sacred homeland, Sylvanas had left Teldrassil exposed, and the Horde attacked. Not at Silithus, though, but at the World Tree itself. Flames consumed it, and before the Alliance could react, Teldrassil was burnt to ash.
There we go.
Shocked by this brutal act, the Alliance had to retaliate, and their response was swift and brutal, striking directly
That
at
is.
the
Okay.
kingdoms. Their target was the Undercity, and though Sylvanas fought to hold it, the city was ultimately destroyed. And with these events, the Fourth War on Azeroth had started. During this war, Orgrimmar had become the
I will probably
beating
watch
heart
this
of the
so many
Horde's war
times
machine.
to retain
Yet as the war
information.
dragged on, cracks within the Horde started to show. A bit like what Garrosh had done, Sylvanas tightened her grip on the city, silencing.
Are you guys
dissent
enjoying
and
listening to this while I'm just
Orgrimmar, once
doing
rebuilt as a
mundane,
fortress to
boring
protect
shit
its
in WoW?
people, was now starting to feel like a prison. The growing unrest in the streets could not be contained, and soon the Horde found itself on the brink of another civil war. On the one side stood Sylvanas and her loyalists, determined to rule with fear and strength. On the other side were the rebels, who dreamed of
This
a
is all this
Horde that was
pre-patch event's
closer
gonna be
to
for
true
is like
wisdom,
leveling
a
up
Horde
everything
built on
else that I
freedom,
have.
not tyranny. And this unrest would develop into a face-off moments away from civil war. Nathanos Blightcaller rallied the people in Sylvanas' name, holding Orgrimmar firmly in her grasp. And Varrock Saurfang outside the city gathered the rebels, joined by the Alliance, and were marching from Razor Hill. The final confrontation between the two.
I hope you
was
guys are
imminent,
enjoying this,
and
'cause
at
I
any
am.
moment, a battle that would decide the future of the Horde could break out. But it never came to that. Before the armies clashed, Saurfang chose to face Sylvanas himself. He challenged her to a Mak-Gorar, the ancient Orcish duel of honor. The fight
Wait.
was swift, and Saurfang fell, but not before exposing Sylvanas' true intentions for all to see. She abandoned the Horde, leaving even her most loyal followers.
Didn't we
behind.
already
In her absence,
learn about
the
that, or are
Horde
we learning
began
more
to
about
fall.
that?
Sylvanas' loyalists surrendered or were rounded up, and Saurfang's funeral was held in the front of Grommash Hold, a moment of unity as Horde leaders and even a few Alliance figures came together to pay their respects. We won't go into the fine details of the Fourth War and the battle for Azeroth, but with the war against
Oh,
the
I guess 'cause we're in
Alliance now at bay
BFA.
and the Old God N'Zoth defeated,
That
the
makes
leaders of
sense.
the Horde gathered in the Orgrimmar embassy. This time, they didn't choose to elect a single war chief. Instead, they formed the Horde Council, a body made up of voices from every race, guiding their people. not
No,
through
my
one
pet
leader, but
died.
through many leaders.
Come
From a
back
barren
to me,
wasteland
my
to the
little
thriving heart of the
dude.
Horde, Durotar is more than just a starting zone in World of Warcraft. It's the embodiment of the Orc's journey, forged from exile, scarred by war, and built on sacrifice. Every canyon and outpost in Durotar tells
It'll be
a
nice to get
story.
this done,
Through
though.
the rise and fall of war chiefs, internal rebellion,
Level up
burning
again.
skies, and fractured alliances, one thing has remained constant in this area: the Orcs and their determination to survive in a world that was never
Hostile
kind.
forces detected. Arming raid defenses.
Sir, you're interrupting my education that I'm going to have to listen to over and over and over and over and over again because my brain cannot retain information for shit. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How fucking dare you? Hi, Nelstar. How you doing? How is your stream? How is WoW? This event blows right now. I hope you had fun on Classic. Listen, my little bat. Go after it. Yeah, we're listening to 2 hours of Horde lore to fall asleep to right now while I do this stuff. No, let me hit it. Let me hit it. Let me hit it. Let me hit it. Okay, I got it. Were you streaming the whole time? Did you or did you split it up? Did you just finish? Bro, I have disengaged twice. I just noticed that. Go away. This is getting killed so fast. I mean, I'm doing it on lower level characters just to level them up. It's been worth the leveling. Knocked out daily as you were done. Nice. By the way, guys, if you guys aren't following Nelstar, he's a little sweetie, cutie patootie that you guys should be following. He's also, I don't know what else I should say. He's just a cutie little patootie who plays a lot of WoW, plays a lot of other stuff, raises money for kids, does a lot of cool shit. You guys should go follow him. Because I told you to. Fucking go do it. Indy, I know you're still in here. Go follow Nelstar. You little cutie patootie. Dude, I wake up in the morning and I start doing scrolling because that's what people with my brain do. And he ends up on my For You page all the fucking time now. I can't even get away from him. Then he challenges me to come in and say hi because he says I won't. I said, bitch, bet. I fucking go in there. I say hi. And then I go back to pooping. You're welcome. All right, where is it? Where is it? This is the event? Okay, we're doing an event. Yep. Oh. Oh. Look at all the debuffs on these fucking bars. I think this is just Plater. This is so fucking stupid. It's so bad. But yeah, I've gone up several levels already just by coming over here. So I need to bring over all my alts and just do the world quests and then... Ow. Then do this. I've now, because of you playing WoW all the time and live streaming it on TikTok, that's all I run into now are other people live streaming World of Warcraft. So I get other creators on my For You page now. I can't get away with it or away from it. Also, by the way, guys, you see that little cutie pie behind me on the camera on the bottom right of the of everything? That little cutie pie, you can give her treats for 5 cents. Is it? Oh, there's both of them. You can give him as well treats for 5 cents. There's a little treat bot extension that I have down in my profile down below. Give me your robes, bitch. That if you want 5 cents, you can feed a little chunky baby that clearly is starved and has never had any food in her fucking life. You know, clearly. I make my husband pay for them too. Yay, we got the robes. I will still help with this. Oh god, we're about to pull some shit. Okay, I'll let him take that. That's fine. I just want to turn this in. Take him. Take him. I don't need him. Take him. Oh, no, it's down here.
History of Durotar drawing to a close, it's safe to say that there would
Oh,
be
Nell,
no
I know you gotta
Durotar
probably
or Durotar
go to bed.
without the Tauren. So let's ride across the great
It is
plains
late
of
for you.
Kalimdor to our final stop.
It is
on
only
this
9 o'clock here.
world tour. Let's have a look at the
I appreciate you bringing your
history
community over as
of Mordor.
always. And again,
Situated in the heart of central Kalimdor,
make sure you guys go
Moldor's
follow
lush green
Nelstar, please.
plains serve as the ancestral homeland of the Honorable Tauren.
I'm in
Surrounded by the
combat?
towering
Fucking
Stone
kill
Tower
him, my
Mountains
little
this
dude, my little
landlocked
bat, and my
territory shares
chicken.
borders with several prominent regions in Azeroth, including Desolace, Feralus, Dustwallow Marsh, and the Barrens.
Yeah, you're good.
The striking
Thank you.
feature of this picturesque terrain
Yeah, that's right. You
are
come
the
in
lofty
here, I turn in the
cliffs of
quest.
Thunderbluff, looming majestically over the surrounding fields at the very heart of the zone. Mulgore stands as a serene haven.
Hey guys, I have unspent talent points.
Embraced by towering mountains on every side. However,
Oh, we get to go
this
say hello to our
area
fellow
lie
cultists.
tales of turmoil and strife, narratives that we shall delve
Don't you
into
dare.
in
Are
this
you
very
already
time.
are, you little son of a bitch?
The tale of Mulgore.
Fucking. Stop chewing plastic, bullshit. Get out of here. Get out of here. Steve triggered the absolute shit out of my coworkers today. Talking about anime sub versus dubbed. I felt like one of them was betrayed by the other for saying that they prefer sub over dubbed.
Lands of Kalimdor. These elves, devout followers of the Lord of the Forest, a revered druidic demigod named Cenarius. While the exact origins of this demigod remain veiled in mystery, his legendary stature demands acknowledgement in our narrative today.
Oh, Nell, if you're still around, I know you're lurky lurkies.
Believed that the Earth Mother, an ethereal and
I still enjoy Heroes of the Storm every once in a while, so if you're down to do stupid shit, I can be your Malfurion.
Was Aparo, the elusive white stag, known
or your
also
Lily.
as the ancient guardian Malorn. Driven by their pursuit,
I play
the
support.
Tauren ancestors relentlessly hunted Malorn across the expanse of Azeroth until the stag sought refuge in the heavens, where his majestic.
If you want to do a hot night, just let me know. I got some other people that might be interested as well if we want to get a full team together.
And upon aiding him, she found herself
Just to
captivated
fart
by his
around for a
presence.
night.
Their union resulted in the birth of a demigod, Cenarius. Though
Cenarius.
was born of Elune, she entrusted him to Malorn, recognizing
Yeah.
that he belonged to the mortal realm. Thus,
You know, just put it in your back of your mind as an idea for a night.
Came into the care of the stag. His emergence reverberated through the Emerald's dream.
If you're ever like, I don't have anything else to play,
Sarah, to take him
and I'm
under
home,
her
just hit
wing,
me up.
guiding him through the verdant splendor of Azeroth's wilds. Cenarius, imbued with a
Cenarius.
to the natural world and its creatures, devoted his life to safeguarding the balance of nature and nurturing the lands he called home. Among the creatures that thrived in the plains of central Kalimdor under Cenarius' watchful
Cenarius.
were the Yongle, beings who shared in the abundance of the land alongside their guardian and mentor. Between 12,200 and 12,000 years prior to the opening of the Dark Portal, the robust Yongle race inhabited central Kalimdor. However, discontent brewed among the Yongle as they found themselves forced to share their hunting grounds with neighboring trolls.
Cenarius. Sorry, he didn't say it. Oh, he did say it. Cenarius.
In pursuit of unclaimed territory.
If you guys are wondering,
entering the borders of the formidable Mogu Empire.
Copy
Under the
this.
rule of the merciless Mogu Emperor, Xiang, the Yongle, was subjected to enhancements by flesh shapers, augmenting their strength, ferocity, and intellect. The vastness of the Mogu
Oh, that's probably why
Empire's
it's streaming at 1440.
warrants its own.
Let me put it down in 1080p. That might fix my frames. I didn't realize I was on 1440.
Until they joined a collective revolt and
That would do it.
Empire's downfall.
All right, we're almost 80.
Freedom, the Yongle found themselves adrift. Their cultural heritage eroded by Mogu decrees prohibiting the preservation of oral
Sabotage.
traditions. Some of them clung on to the fragmented
Hello,
tales of
fellow
Cenarius'
cultists.
benevolence,
I am
while
here
others
not
sought
to touch your
forge a new
crystals and
path
explode
by sheer
everybody.
force of will. Amidst these divisions, many Yongle migrated northward, while others opted to remain in their adopted lands. A third faction returned to central Kalimdor.
Wouldn't be me.
where
I'm
they
just here for the
reunited with Cenarius.
cultist
Those who
meeting.
chose to study under Cenarius embraced the teachings of Druidic magic.
I didn't do
attuning themselves
anything.
to the rhythms of the natural world. Conversely, others delved into the mastery of shamanism. The arcane energies emanating from the Well of Eternity catalyzed a transformation among these central Yongle, birthing a new lineage of bovine creatures known as the Tauren. Over time, these Tauren splintered into various tribes and dispersed across the lands. It wasn't until the dragon mage Corielstras persuaded the High Mountain Tauren to align themselves with the Night Elves and other races in the fight against the Burning
Have
Legion
this.
during the War of the Ancients. The Tauren proved invaluable allies.
Is that
during
just
this
what I
pivotal
have?
conflict. Following the conclusion of the War of the Ancients and the cataclysmic events of
Guess
the
it's for
Great
the Ranger
Syndrome,
stuff,
which
yeah?
shattered the supercontinent of Kalimdor, 80% of its land mass was submerged beneath the vast sea, isolating certain Tauren tribes from one another. In the aftermath of this upheaval, surviving Tauren continued their tranquil existence within the central regions of the now fragmented and diminished continent.
Bar, bar.
Legend has it that the Tauren roamed the forest and the plains of Kalimdor, living in symbiosis.
I do need to go
with nature
collect
for
more
thousands
pets
of
at some
years.
point
One
too.
such
More
princely
hunter
clan
pets.
being the
With all the
plains we
ones that
know
they've added
today.
in. Go back to
of
other
Yongle.
bosses and stuff too.
For years,
No,
the
my
Tauren
pet is
held
dead.
tranquility upon the sprawling plains of Kalimdor, up until a
I know
formidable
it's dead. Let
adversary
me
emerged from the neighboring lands.
Let me
Among these
revive it.
neighboring territories lay one particularly revered region, the lush grasslands of Mashan Shi, known in our language as the loom of the Earth Mother.
I need to
Drawn by
move this
subtle
over
elemental light,
closer to
the
me.
Tauren came to believe that beneath these meadows slumbered the Earth Mother herself. After decades of endeavoring to awaken her, Tauren shamans finally succeeded, only to realize with horror that their efforts had roused not the benevolent Earth Mother, but the colossal Earth Elemental, Princess Theradrus, daughter of Therazane, the Stone Mother. Utilizing the verdant surroundings for sustenance, Theradrus absorbed energy from the life across the lands to replenish her weakened form. Thus, the once fertile and sacred land of named to Desolace. The catastrophic loss of life reverberated throughout Azeroth and even into the Emerald Dream.
Give us both a
Zeta,
barrier.
son of the Forest Lord Cenarius, journeyed to Desolace to investigate. However,
There we go.
instead of imprisoning Theradrus as planned, Zeta fell in love with her. Their union gave birth to the Centaur, resulting in a tragic cycle of conflict. After slaying their own father, the Centaur multiplied rapidly, driving the native Tauren from Desolace and sparking a prolonged period of darkness and strife for the Tauren race. Despite this, continuing
The
on
new
with their nomadic settlements
stuff just
across
looks
the
really
lands,
cool
lives
with
of
the
Tauren
hunters.
shifted with the seasons, yet they remained united by a common hostility toward the marauding Centaur. Despite enduring
All the
relentless
different
attacks, the Tauren stayed true,
animal
and they
aspects that come
defied
out too.
war,
Oh,
but they did
my
meet
dude's dead
aggression
again.
with resilience. Each year brought either a year of peace or a year of conflict, and the Tauren embraced this cyclical existence as the only life they knew.
Do you see how long it's been since I've played this guy? Look at the trinket that I still have.
While conflicts ravaged the Eastern Kingdoms, the tranquil plains of Kalimdor shielded the Tauren from the turmoil. However,
I gotta turn this
their
in.
isolation ended with the arrival of the Horde upon Kalimdor's shores during the Third War, thrusting the Tauren into the modern way of life that we are all used to today. Our narrative now shifts to one of the most revered leaders among the Tauren, Cairn Bloodhoof. As chieftain of the Bloodhoof tribe, Cairn epitomized strength and
There we
leadership.
go.
Despite the weight of
Level
age
80.
his stride, Cairn remained resolute in his commitment to safeguard his ancient people from the relentless Centaur threat. He harbored a steadfast hope of leading his tribe to
I
a
didn't even know I had
homeland
that.
where they could thrive in peace. Cairn's outlook
It's from a
shifted
world
when he
event. I had no
encountered
idea I
Thrall,
had
the
it. I
young
gotta get rid
warchief
of so
the
much stuff in
emerging
this.
Orcish horde. Witnessing Thrall's valor in battle against the Centaurs, Cairn was intrigued by the horde's
So I was
blend
running a
of
bunch of different
agility
stuff.
and ferocity. Thrall's quest for destiny resonated deeply with Cairn, prompting him to guide the horde northward, helping them with their quest of finding an oracle. In exchange for revealing the oracle's location, Thrall pledged to
Org.
safeguard the Tauren caravan's journey
I'm gonna hop
to
onto
the
another
tranquil
character.
plains of Mulgore. Together, crossing the land, they successfully evaded and defeated the attacking Centaurs, reaching the safety of Mulgore. Cairn then directed Thrall to the oracle's location within Stone Talon Peak before they parted ways. This encounter marked a pivotal moment in the Third War, leading Thrall and the Horde to meet the Guardian Medivh in the Stone Talon Mountain caverns was a turning point, signaling the beginning of the conflict's end. If you want to find out more about the story
that.
from the Stone Talon Mountains, you can refer to our dedicated
Let's switch
Cairn Peaks
characters.
via the
See how long it takes us to get another lower level. This character was 74, 75 when I went over there.
Atop the windswept mesa of Thunderbluff, Cairn built a sanctuary for his people, welcoming Tauren from all tribes. Cairn's son Bane accompanied
get my
his father
warrior.
and the Tauren when they settled in Mulgore. As time passed, the disparate Tauren factions rallied under Cairn's leadership. While some tribes still held differing views on the nation's trajectory, most of them acknowledged Cairn as their wisest and most capable guide.
I think this
towards
guy's in the
shared
main
future.
ZTH guild.
But
I
this
forget.
newfound era of peace and tranquility did face
No
its fair
babies?
share
No
of
babies down there.
challenges. Cairn acknowledged that the nomadic customs ingrained in Tauren society actually posed a threat to their survival. With their numbers relatively small and their wandering way of life, they remained susceptible to assaults from the Centaur.
Oh, speaking of.
Quillbore, and various other
Hello,
races.
Peanut.
His visions would come true when a band
Peanut.
of Centaur, led by Kirag, attacked the Tauren village,
Peanut.
capturing his son Bane
Where'd you
and
go?
imprisoning him in their encampment. This event plunged Cairn into a state of despair, rendering him unable to lead and leaving the Tauren
This will
vulnerable
be
to
Peanut
further
under my desk
attacks
now.
by the Centaur. When Rexar, one of the Horde's esteemed champions, and his companions arrived in Mulgore seeking
There we go, I'll
Cairn's
tag-
aid
I'll tag her
against
over
the
there.
invading Kultirans, Cairn expressed his inability
And
to
now-
assist, citing that his spirit had been broken. It was then that Cairn's
Take
faithful
this
second in
off.
command, Tagar Bloodhoof urged
Take
Rexxar
that
to
off
seek
because it
out
would get
Wolf
us
and Wing Totem
problems.
and
This
his
isn't
outcasts to help
compatible. This isn't
locate Bane.
compatible.
With the assistance of the outcasts,
Incompatible.
Rexxar located Key
It doesn't matter because Big Wigs is taken
eliminated the
off.
Centaur threat, rescued Bane, and returned him to his father's embrace in Thunderbluff. Cairn's joy knew no bounds as he thanked Rexxar for breathing new life
Reload.
into him and pledged his forces to join the battle against the Coltirans. Sometime later, in the 25th year after the opening of the Dark Portal,
Dark Portal!
the peaceful settlement that Cairn had provided for the Tauren race began to lead to an increase in the Tauren population across the region, with thousands of young Taurens
Thunderbluff.
starting their journey in Mulgore. Though the noble Tauren were peaceful in nature, the rites of the Great Hunt were venerated as the part of
edit
their spiritual
mode.
culture. Every Tauren, warrior or otherwise, sought identity both as a hunter and as a child of the Earth Mother.
Oh, I forgot
Tauren
to
who
disable
reached the age of
bartender.
maturity traveled to Camp
So that's been
Narash,
bothering the
where
crap out of me
Chief
too.
Hawkwind would send the new adventurers on quests to test their skills and prove themselves in the wilds of the Red Cloud Mesa, the name for the rolling plains atop the high cliffs in southern Mulgore. This newfound lease of life resulted in the expansion of the settlement of Thunderbluff into the grand city many Horde adventurers had seen with their own eyes. The Tauren had established the city as the center for trade caravans, traveling artisans, and inventors of every kind. The proud city also
Oh my god,
stood
trade
as
chat's
a
on.
refuge
Why?
for the many hunters who stalked their dangerous prey through the barrens and its surrounding areas. Long bridges of wood and rope spanned the chasms between the mesas, and each mesa topped with tents, longhouses, carefully painted totems, and spirit lodges.
That's all
The
good.
mighty chief,
Oh, I
Cairn
forgot to just leave that
Bloodhoof,
open.
presided over the bustling city,
That's
ensuring
all
that the united
good. That's
Tauren
all
tribes
good.
lived in
That's all
peace
good. Okay.
and security. This period of
I
tranquility
have
and
unspent
safety was
talent
soon
points.
disrupted by the arrival of the small
Bro,
green
where are all my
troublemakers,
fucking
the
bars?
goblins. Several years after establishing themselves in Kalimdor, the goblins expanded their control over the region. Some goblins came together to create the Venture Company, a formidable goblin cartel
Nope.
notorious for exploiting Azeroth's natural
Hey, the
resources.
Venture Company.
Affiliated with the Trade Coalition, this company extends its operations to various corners of Azeroth. On Kalimdor, they are active in regions like the Stone Talon Mountains, the Barrens, and notably, of course, Mulgore.
I really don't
The
like their
goblins
damage meter.
demonstrated remarkable skill in logging, with Mulgore drawing particular interest to them due to its numerous water wells. They swiftly took control of 3 wells in the region: the Thunderhorn Water Well, the Wild
I have
Moon
so
Water
much
Well,
stuff. I'm just
and
gonna go with the starter
Winterwood
build for
Water
now.
Well. This sparked outrage among the Tauren upon discovering that their sacred water sources were being exploited by the Goblin menace. Responding swiftly, Tauren
Why is
forces
Revenge
were
up here
dispatched
twice?
to confront the goblins, whose size disadvantage led to their quick retreat.
That's
from the area.
there.
The Venture Company goblins were not the sole outsiders drawn to the tranquil
Execute
plains
is
of Mulgore.
there.
A scouting contingent of Gallic Centaur
That doesn't need to
were
be
also
there. My
spotted
taunt's
roaming the area.
there.
This came as a surprise, as the Gallic Centaur were not native to Mulgore.
His shield
but
charge
hailed from
there.
the Thousand Needles instead, alongside the goblins and the Tauren's sworn enemies, the Centaur. An unlikely group of individuals also sought to benefit from Mulgore's resources.
That's there.
The
That's
dwarves
there.
of Baal Modan, situated in the southern reaches of the
This
Barrens,
isn't down
also
there.
took an interest in Mulgore. These dwarves were in central Kalimdor, excavating an ancient Titan complex and research facility beneath Baal Modan. It is likely that numerous relics and much knowledge lie deep beneath the surface. In a bid for expansion, these
So
dwarves
let's ignore Painter,
dispatched
that's
small
there.
contingents to the neighboring region
AoE.
of Mulgore, establishing the Baeldun dig site to unearth the area's
Okay.
secrets as part of their lifelong quest for historical
Oh,
knowledge.
this
Just as they
should be
confronted the Venture
there.
Company goblins, the Tauren faced the challenge posed by these new invaders.
That can go
Viewing it as a
there.
disrespect to the Earth Mother, Bane warned
Okay.
the dwarves that they were disturbing the Earth
good for
spirits
now.
in the lands of Mulgore. The dwarves did not listen to this warning.
Do
The
I-
Bloodhoof tribe spearheaded efforts
hit
to
this
expel
instead,
these
my
intruders,
berserker.
resorting to
Um,
confiscating and destroying their pickaxes when diplomatic negotiations faltered. Concurrently, the Tauren
need-
coordinated with Horde operatives to engage with the Harpies.
Oh my
Quilldren, and
gosh, look at
Gnomes also
this.
inhabiting the Red Cloud Mesa. Despite their utmost
I haven't
respect
played
for
this
the
character
Earth
since
Mother and the lands
Shadowlands.
they lived off, the Tauren tribes often feuded and warred among themselves, vying for
I
control
need-
of the united Tauren tribes. The most significant feud arose
This.
between the Bloodhoof tribe and the Grim Totem tribe, spearheaded by the Grim Totem matriarch, Magartha Grim Totem, the elder crone and the matriarch of the once mighty Grim Totem tribe. was a powerful shaman and cunning leader. She emerged as the chief rival to High Chieftain Cairn Bloodhoof for the leadership for all Torren. Unable to oust Cairn through political means, Magartha resorted
Now we gotta go to
treachery.
Stormwind
Grim
because we're on
Totems believed that
Alliance
Magartha would lead
side.
them in eradicating the lesser races from Kalimdor and the reclamation of the ancestral Torren lands. Constantly disagreeing with Cairn's leadership and the direction of the Torren's future, Magartha felt that she was the only one fit to rule her people. In a tale that has been recounted elsewhere,
Okay, what time is
Rhaegar
it?
Earthfury
Okay.
was a successful gladiator slave master who owned Logoth.
See if we can get
known
up
to
some
us
levels,
as the Lost King of Stormwind, Varian Rin, during his bout
before
with
I start to get
Amnesia.
really tired.
Logoth
So I took
fought
my
in
stuff to help me go to sleep.
tournaments alongside Valeria Sanguinar and Brawl Bearmantle.
Because tomorrow
The
is a
Amnesia
very long
tournament
day.
eventually led Rhaegar's team to
I
victory
have
at the Crimson Ring tournament at Dire Maul,
work.
gaining Rhaegar a substantial fortune in gambling winnings.
And then bad
Following the
practice.
tournament, Rhaegar took his team
And
to
that will
Thornfield
take
to
a
find
lot.
Torren Gladiator to replace Valeria Sanguinar, whom he had sold
Because I don't
to
get,
another
I won't
gladiator
get back
master.
home until
On the
later.
journey, the human, dubbed Logoth
Why do
by
they put-
spectators at Dire Maul, a name which
What
had
the
stuck,
fuck?
and his teammate, Brawl Bearmantle, requested to visit the Pools of Vision in Thunderbluff. They hoped to find answers through a ritual there. Logosh sought to recover his lost memories, while Brawl hoped to
Bro, where
communicate
is
with the
this?
spirit of his deceased daughter. Rhaegar granted their request, and as they set off for the Pools of Vision,
Hello?
he went to visit his friend, Archdruid Hamul Runetotem. Magartha approached Rhaegar, suggesting several young Torren who would be strong candidates for his battle training, including her own granddaughter and several grandnephews. While Rhaegar
Did you
considered
just
this
appear here?
proposal,
'Cause I was
Brawl
here.
and Logosh went to bathe in the pools. It was here they were attacked by a large cave elemental summoned by Magartha. But Logosh emerged victorious, and the pools helped him recall some of his lost memories. In an attempt to discredit Cairn, who had been hesitant to disturb the elemental without understanding its motives, Magartha praised Rhaegar's champions for achieving what the Great Cairn could not.
Oh,
Many
Pater's
years
not
later,
working.
After the conflict with the Lich King, Thrall relinquished his position as war chief of the Horde, and Garrosh Hellscream succeeded him. Hellscream had been accused of orchestrating the murder of innocent druids, a deed actually carried out by orcs loyal to the nihilistic Twilight's Hammer sect. Enraged by these killings, Cairn challenged Garrosh for leadership, and with the aid of Magartha Grimtotem's manipulations, Garrosh emerged victorious, resulting in Cairn's demise. Following Cairn's death, Magartha orchestrated the infiltration of Blood
Look at that picture.
and seized control of Thunderbluff for the Grimtotem tribe. The Grimtotem tribe's assassins infiltrated Thunderbluff,
Why is
targeting
the player
skilled weapon
working?
masters, powerful druids, and shamans. Their assault focused on the Spirit Rise, where members of the Skychaser clan were ruthlessly slaughtered. With the support of the Forsaken below, who aligned with the Grimtotem tribe, the attackers also targeted the Hunters on the Hunter's
This is why.
Rise and other individuals capable of wielding arms. By doing so, they instilled fear among the remaining Torren. However, the Grimtotem's reign was short-lived. Through the combined efforts of Jevon Grimtotem and Jaina Proudmoore, Bane rallied an army and acquired the necessary weaponry to confront the Grimtotem within Thunderbluff. In a decisive counterattack orchestrated by Bane, utilizing a fleet of Zeppelins to strategically divide Magartha's forces,
There we go.
Thunderbluff was retaken, and Bane
That
assumed
would be
his
why.
rightful position as chieftain of the Torren. With stability restored, Thunderbluff
Okay, good. This is all
once
gonna be in the
again
VOD.
stands as a beacon of peace.
I was just
security
thinking, I'm
for the
like,
Kalimdor's Torren. Magartha and her followers were exiled, banished across the land, while Jevon, now leader of the remaining Grimtotem, who did not partake in this attack, pledged the tribe's allegiance. to
There
the
is no
Horde,
loot.
and they were allowed to continue to reside within Thunderbluff. After inheriting his father's former role, the true heir to the Torren throne, Bane Bloodhoof, resumed his peaceful reign. Shortly prior to the events of the Cataclysm, the
Okay,
Bilgewater
bring me over
goblins aligned
there.
themselves with the Horde's forces throughout Azeroth, following Bane's assumption of the role of
The
the
portal.
High Chieftain of the
Yep.
His already frosty relationship with War Chief Garrosh Hellscream deteriorated further. Despite Cairn Bloodhoof's death at Garrosh's hands, Bane had opted not to seek revenge, prioritizing a unified leadership within the Horde. Understanding the need for a strong leader to ensure the Horde's
This
survival,
is
Bane
almost
believed
done.
Garrosh could
Maybe we'll
provide
go until
inspiration
this
to
is
his
done, and then
people.
I'll
However, tensions rose
hop off.
as
I can
Garrosh
already
began making increasing demands
feel
on
it
the
working.
Torren. One such
Oh,
demand
excuse
was
me.
access to Mulgor's untainted sacred water supplies, as the Horde's new goblin allies had polluted much of the water near Orgrimmar with their industrial activities in Ajara. Bane was hesitant to grant Garrosh's request, and Archdruid Hamor Runetotem was even more opposed. After a
No, it's
contentious
gonna be up
discussion, they
there.
reluctantly agreed
They're almost done
to
with
the
it because
demand
that
on the
that means they
condition that
just
a Tauren representative
got it
would
going.
oversee the goblins' operations going forward. After the resurgence
Hello,
of Death
I'm
Wing
here
the
to be
Destroyer
fellow
and the ensuing
cultists.
Cataclysm, tensions between the Alliance and the Horde heightened, particularly in the southern central regions of Kalimdor. In a bid to bolster their offensive against the Horde,
Figured
the
I would
Alliance
accept
launched an
this,
assault on a Tauren encampment in the southern barrens known
XP.
as Camp Terayo. The attack originated from Northwatch Hold, spurred by false intelligence suggesting an impending Tauren assault. The resulting destruction, termed a massacre by the Tauren, occurred after the Alliance ensured
Hello,
the
fellow
evacuation of
cultists, once
civilians
again.
under the command of General Hawthorne. Despite efforts
It
to
is
minimize
I.
casualties, some individuals perished while attempting
Chicky
to
D in
flee.
another
Bane
form.
Bloodhoof acknowledged the camp as a legitimate military target and commended Hawthorne's decision to spare civilians. Nevertheless, dissent within the Alliance High Command arose, with some advocating for more
Listen, I can
aggressive
ignore all the pain that I
tactics,
want.
such as hostage taking. Subsequently, the camp
Dude,
was
the
subjected to
freaking
fire burning by Wildhammer Griffin
abilities
Rider
look really
mercenaries,
cool.
leading to its
No.
destruction. Alliance forces seized weaponry and dismantled
Come here.
several facilities, dealing a significant blow to their
Come here.
adversaries and disrupting the Horde operations. The Tauren military refrained from retaliation until assurances were made for the safety and the evacuation of civilians from the camp.
See, that looks
Survivors,
really cool
along with
now.
refugees from Honor's Stand,
They did a good
sought
job with that,
sanctuary
but
at Camp Unify in the Overgrowth. However, the evacuation was fraught with peril as many fell to the hostile
Give me the
Bristleback
robes.
Quilboar. Following the Alliance attack, the route from the Barrens to Mulgore
Give me the
was
robes.
barricaded by the Tauren. They constructed the Great Gate to ward off potential Alliance incursions into their peaceful territory. Although the Great Gate faced attacks from Alliance siege engines and soldiers, it was successfully defended by the combined forces of
Give me the
Orc
robes.
and Tauren
Where is
stationed
she?
at Vendetta Point. In the aftermath of the Cataclysm, the dwarves of Baeldun Digsite met their demise at
The
the hands
dwarves.
of agitated earth spirits. Validating
Bro,
Bane's
where
prior
the
warning.
where did you come
Following
from?
Armo Thunderhorn's guidance, Horde agents were dispatched to pacify the spirits using a magical drum. The recent cataclysm brought significant alterations to the Red Cloud Mesa, which endured substantial damage as it came under siege from the Bristleback.
Being
Quilboar,
rolled
who
for? I'm
expanded
the only
their
one
territory
here.
from the
I'm in
Brambleblade
my
to
own
Garreth
shit. What do
and
you
Bane
mean being
Bloodhoof,
rolled
who
for?
were now leaders of their respective people, spearheaded
Excuse
the
me?
invasion to eradicate the local Quilboar. Additionally, numerous Bristleback Quilboars
Why would I have to
abandoned
roll
their
against myself for
traditional
loot?
habitat to assist in seizing new territory from the Tauren in a location
Explain.
called the Thornsnarl. At the same time, Grimtotem rebels, unwilling to pledge allegiance to Jevon Grimtotem and Bane Bloodhoof, took over and poisoned the sacred water.
Give me the
wells in
dagger.
In response,
We turn the
Grim Tauren
quest.
asked
We go blow
to
up some
push back the
people.
Bristleback
Mhm.
Quilboar, while the Tauren accepted aid from all Horde members in dealing with the Grimtotem and other threats to the area. Despite often escaping the devastation of wars across
Hello,
Azeroth over the
fellow
years,
cultists. Once
Thunderblood
again,
fell prey to
I
the
am
Burning
here.
Legion. During the Burning Legion,
I am once again asking you.
Thunderbluff was targeted by Infernals. Fortunately, they were defeated, and the city stood strong as the capital city for the Tauren and a base for all.
Oh, maybe not yet.
During
I
the
am
Battle
once
for
again
Azeroth, a contingent
beating the
of
crap out of you.
Company goblins returned to Mulgore
To then.
with considerable force, targeting
pretend.
the belongings of Sheza Wildmane, a Tauren who operated the Elder Rise drum shop in Thunderbluff. With resources acquired from this raid, or from selling the stolen goods, the Venture Company goblins established a camp in Mulgore once again, this time
Oh, it's
just
gone
east
already.
of
Holy
Thunderbluff.
crap.
And around the same period, Thunderbluff hosted a feast for the High Mountain Tauren from High Mountain on the Broken Shore. The entire city celebrated the discovery of a long-lost Tauren tribe with fireworks until it came under attack by minions of the Old Gods, who sensed the presence of Spirit Walker Ebonhorn, the uncorrupted son of Deathwing himself. The Old God forces attempted
Execute.
to corrupt the aspect of the Black Dragonflight and trapped the city's
Did
civilians.
I miss this
with
little
great
character?
power, rendering them unresponsive.
My
All
little gnome
adventurers,
warrior.
along with Bane
I used to
Bloodhoof,
raid
his
with this
personal
character and
guards,
harass the
and
crap out of
city guards
Jarathi with the
defended
noises that it would
Thunderbluff,
make.
defeating the Void minions and saving the city.
This is a
During
lot.
period, Sylvanas Windrunner, gradually converted the Underhold, a massive underground compound deep below Orgrimmar, accessed through an elevator within Ragefire Chasm, into a military installation. She used it to train her elite soldiers and manufacture Azerite weapons. Bane Bloodhoof was captured and imprisoned in the Underhold Nexus. In a story for another time, Bane was later rescued by Thrall and Jaina Proudmoore, who feared Sylvanas Windrunner would lay waste to Thunderbluff, as she did to Teldrassil.
Do I have a
Thunderbluff's
where's my spell
citizens
reflect?
supported Varrock Sarfang in his rebellion against Sylvanas. Although Bane's injuries prevented him from joining Sarfang's march to Orgrimmar, G. Firepaw, Acer Cloudsinger, Maela High Mountain, and their forces reinforced the city's defenses.
I'm not worried
just in
about
case
that. Is this
Sylvanas
warbound?
launched
This is
a
warbound.
counterattack.
Okay.
During the conflict, Sarfang challenged Sylvanas to a Mac Groa, resulting in his death and Sylvanas' abandonment of the Horde. A stunned Lord Thamar ordered champions to inform.
Dude, how many
Bane of
times are we
his
gonna
death.
watch
With Thunderbluff
Sourfang
no longer
die?
Threatened by Sylvanas' forces, the reinforcements departed the city as Bane, G, and Maela travelled to Orgrimmar to attend to Varrock Sarfang's funeral. Following the Fourth War,
How many times have we watched him die so far? Hello, fellow cultists.
continued to encounter numerous.
It's like the
signs
third
of
time or something like that.
These included the presence of the Venture Company to the east.
It's
Lord
still, I
Threat
mean, it
looming
still
from the west,
is,
and the
has to
menace
do
of
with the
Grimtalker
events,
tribe,
but
who persistently
Goodbye.
targeted the Tauren, particularly
have a good
focusing on the
time.
water resources of Thunderbluff. The concluding chapter of Thunderbluff's lore unfolds during the period known as Death Rising. The city faced a brutal assault from the Moorsworn, minions serving Zoval the Jailer in the moor within the Shadowlands. These ruthless invaders laid waste to the tranquil streets and captured Bane Bloodhoof. Imprisoned by the Moorsworn, Bane faced judgment by the Jailer, where his spirit suffered wounds deemed unworthy by the Eternal One. As a consequence, Bane was
Leveled
cast
up.
as a
I mean, this
platform
is
by the Jailer to
they got a
crush.
good way for
However,
leveling up.
timely
Leveled
rescue
up
effort led
pretty
by
fast so
Thrall,
far.
Tywin Ryn, Jaina Proudmoore, and Azeroth's champions.
Why am
managed
I
to
rolling
move
on this
Bane's
when
spirit
it's
and
mine?
save him from further peril.
It's
As the sun
mine.
dips below the horizon, casting its golden hues upon the rolling plains of Mulgore, we bid farewell to the tales of this land. And there we have it, another World of Warcraft lore supercut wrapped up and added to the library. Wherever you are out there in the world, whatever you're doing, I hope you enjoyed this Horde-themed lore world tour.
Unless I like somehow share it with the other person that. Let's go over this.
Welcome back to another World of Warcraft lore supercut. In
This is what Steve has
video,
listened
we're
to at
diving
night.
into the full history and background of the original Alliance starting zones. First on our stop, we'll journey to Dunwall,
Although I wish to kill as well.
exploring the origins of the dwarves and the gnomes,
Let me.
and
And
uncovering how they came to settle
Execute,
in the
execute.
snow-covered mountains of Khazmodan. After that, we'll set sail for Kalimdor. We'll have a look at the rise of the Night Elves, how they built one of the most powerful empires the world has ever known, and then the tragic events that led to its downfall. And then finally, we'll return to the Eastern Kingdoms to revisit the story of the Elwyn Forest. Naturally, in this video, some stories may be touched on more than once, but allowing the lore to overlap where it fits helps create a more relaxing and coherent storytelling experience. But with that being said, whether you're winding down for some sleep, looking for some lore-rich background,
That makes
knowledge
sense as to why we
study
heard it
through,
multiple
or simply
times.
in the mood to relax with some Warcraft history, this video has you covered. Let's kick this lore supercut off with one of the coziest zones in Azeroth, Dun Morogh. The story of Dun Morogh traces its roots back to some of the oldest legends in the world of Azeroth. Today we recognize it as the homeland of the dwarves and the gnomes. Time to move on. But this snowy expanse wasn't always their domain. To truly understand how these stout and often short
Let's turn this
came
in.
to settle in these frozen lands, we need to start at the very beginning of their remarkable journey. And stay with me on this one, it all comes together quite nicely. Over 150,000 years ago, the Pantheon of Order, a group of god-like beings known as the Titans, roamed the cosmos on their divine mission to shape and organize worlds. Drawn to a quiet corner of the universe, they discovered Azeroth, a planet harboring a dormant world soul, a vast reservoir of energy capable of awakening as a Titan, much like those who made up the Pantheon themselves. However, Azeroth was infested by the old gods, malevolent entities
Let's do
sent by
that.
the void to corrupt the world soul. These beings had established the Black Empire, commanding armies of monstrous creatures and insectoids to spread their corruption. To combat this threat, the Titans created an army
what
of
time is it?
races known as the Titan Forged to wage
It is
war against the
9:30.
Dark
As much as I would like to listen to that as well, I need to go to bed. Get some sound in here too. I need to go to bed, but come on. Let me go ahead and return the favor. Let's go ahead and find somebody to raid out to. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I was doing this. Yeah, I'm already getting there. It is working out. I do need to get some sleep. I didn't sleep. I haven't been sleeping well the last couple days, so let me see who is live that we can go ahead and hang out with for a bit. Oh, they have another half hour going. It is 9:30. And they are streaming. Therefore, we are always going to support Hats and Nico. Go support the spawn respawn. Thank you guys again for hanging out. Nelstar, thank you again for the raid. Snoozing these ads because fuck them. Yeah, thank you guys all again. Blue, thank you again for the resub today. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, of course. Let's bring that up right there. That way I can see this stuff. Show me, show me, show me. And Steve, thank you for all the biddies for the kitties. Chris, thank you for hanging out. Grimmy, thank you for hanging out. Everybody, thank you for hanging out today. I appreciate it. But I am going to go ahead and send you guys on over to the spawn and respawn. They are playing some Final Fantasy 14. It looks like she's working on a relic, so go hang out with them. We love them. We always support them. We are hoping to get back to Star Trek on Mondays. I think next month she wants to start getting into it. So hopefully next Monday we'll be back to Star Trek. Or this coming Monday. Love you guys. Have a good night. Bye.